only 25, still got a couple years to go. I don't need a babysitter, cause this baby gotta go. It's a
in the morning, you got me up, all cause you need to talk. To 4 in the evening, wanna break up, say that you've had enough. I'm tired of talking, again and again, argue about everything. You are my darling, this kiss and make up, I know you want me touch. You call me every night, call me every day, I just wanna get you alone now. Trust me when I say, we gon' be okay, we just gotta boom bada boom ba. I don't wanna fight, you know that I'm right. Baby, let me talk to your body. We gon' be okay, hear me when I say.
And I'm only 25, still got a couple years to go. I don't need a babysitter, cause this baby gotta go. It's a
that's my response.
I mean, honestly, and this is something that I mentioned before, where it's like, you know, instead of us being so quick to judge, we should first be asking ourselves why. Why is there a large or significant amount of men that feel like the best option to them is to literally spend more money, you know, basically inconvenience themselves to go to countries they don't know, cultures they're not familiar with, to try to find somebody? Why would somebody willingly leave their own country, leave their culture, context, whatever, go to a culture they're not aware of to try to find a wife? What is that saying about what's going on? So I'm one that says, let's try to at least understand where they're coming from first before we be so quick to judge or to pass judgment. So really, really good points. Shout out to Fawcett Media. It says how
pain. I've been there, locked up inside my head, broken from fear, illusions, disappointment, and hopelessness. Who heard me in my silence, where being a man means nothing? Despair. I've been there too, desperately seeking answers for the questions associated with manhood, hills and valleys, too bleak to compare. Stress, suffering in a utility silo, no comfort, no security, no freedom, no justice, just do it for others. Challenges, who will help me break the challenges? Lost in the vortex of darkness, hopelessness, fear, and abandonment. I've been there too. I've been there too. Take the next step to your destiny. Join me in this fight. Walk forward. Deep breaths. Head held high, men. Come join me, men, in the winds of time. Stories, hopes, visions, purified in the fire. I'm not a superhero, and I'm not the Reverend Knight. I'm here to help you. Join me, men, in this fight. Break the chains of your mind. Let's do it now. For now, it's all we have. Fire! The kosher clinician. Relationship deprivation.
When you date a woman and she may be a potential wife, it's a competition thing all the way. I can't take it no more.
They feel propped up because they feel more beholden to the government. And then their man comes second. That's why they figure that they're strong, independent, don't need no man because they have the government.
Because the men are failing us, to be honest. Guys thinking about themselves and they'll think about you after you react.
You don't hear anything about being good wives and all this other stuff. What you hear is you're strong and you independent. You can do it on your own. You got black girl magic, black girl rock, but you ain't said nothing about black family.
My mother is like what they consider to be the strong black woman. I feel like I projected that onto the guys that I dated.
Ladies have no idea how stiff their competition really is. You have no clue how black men are viewed in the rest of the world. We are the #1 most sexually desired man on the face of this planet.
They would call Jesus Dusty if he was here living in America because of the gross narcissism that a lot of our women have.
Power deprivation.
His money doesn't go to his child. His money goes to the system.
Personal accountability is one of those things that just goes across the board.
It's none of his business how it's being spent. Just pay the money and we'll take care of the rest.
I see why people walk away. I see why dads walk away. And it's the system. It's the system that's driving them away.
I let her know I ain't got no money for no Jordans. You call your dad or do whatever you gotta do. You can get 2 pair a year, that's it.
The non-custodial father has rights. So, mother just jumps up and say, you can't see your child, I can't go see the child.
When he said that he was going to take all of my custodial rights away, I was literally devastated.
The family court is one of the most dangerous courtroom, the most dangerous courtroom in the world.
This makes it near impossible. I can't understand how most guys can even begin to approach the situation.
When a woman gets pregnant, one of these basketball players, baseball players, wealthy guys, it's called a cash register. Because that's what that child is. It's a cash register.
There is no accountability. You write that check or you go to jail.
Affection deprivation.
Women are noticing that their men are crossing the borders to find happiness, romance, or even just somebody to have a good time, hang out with. I come to Brazil, I sit down at the table, I order food. Young lady places a drink in front of me, opens my straw, puts it in my glass, and I'm chilling. Doesn't make her less of a woman, doesn't make me more of a man. It's just that we have different roles in life, and she knows hers, and I know mine.
Several years ago, I read an article from Essence magazine in regards to African-American men going to Brazil.
There's been a number of articles since the Essence story.
The article was not pleasant at all. It was quite negative.
The article is racially motivated, and to me it's just another attack on the black man.
I feel in conversating with other guys who have potential here, you should come here and experience what she has to offer Brazil.
People that write the article saying that they don't understand why we come to this place or any other place or bias because they've never experienced it.
Every black man should come down one time before you be put in this earth to see how this culture treats you. It's heaven.
You don't want to come down to Rio. I said, because if you do, you're going to come back thinking, how can I get rid of her? You know, and I just said that's I can't put it to you. I said if you married and you love your wife and you're satisfied, I said don't come here.
You're looking for cheap sex with pretty girls. I think to a certain extent you're almost like a predator.
They are nothing but lies, and they should not have been accepted by the black women. That article is to bridge the gap between you, and that's the reason that article came by.
It's not an issue until the black man starts doing it.
I agree.
I got an itch in my palm. My girl, she know she the one. I put the ice on her hand. I put some ice on her arm. See me shining in the light. Know you found me in the dark. Talking how you wanna leave. Girl, you made this far. Taking trips overseas. No, I won't be long. We came up from the weeds. Now it's top floor. All these big yes on her wrist. VVS is on her neck. Make it spinning, I don't stress. When I make it stretch. Double back to back then. Down broke, now we rich. Spend it on her, let her spin. Down with me to the end. That my best friend. That my best friend. That my best friend. I'ma spend it on her, cause she all mine. Spend it on a challenge, cause she all mine. There for my first cake, then we hit on a cake. $500,000 on the way, then $1 million on the way. Eating good, full plates, eating good, say grace. Eat her up, get thanks. She got cake birthday. I can't waste no way, I can't waste no play. My girl, whoa, whoa, something like the baddest chick. My girl, whoa, whoa, came from the rags to rich. Hit the road running, I had to tell her I had to get it. She understood, but she spoiled, so when she get mad, she dip. All these big yes on her wrist, VVS is on her neck. Make it spinning, I don't stress. When I make it stretch. Double back to back then. Down broke, now we rich. Spend it on her, let her spin. Down with me to the end. That my best friend. That my best friend. That my best friend. I'ma spend it on her, cause she all mine. Spend it on a challenge, cause she all mine. All these big yes on her wrist, VVS is on her neck. Make it spinning, I don't stress. When I make it stretch. Double back to back then. Down broke, now we rich. Spend it on her, let her spin. Down with me to the end. That my best friend. That my best friend. That my best friend. I'ma spend it on her, cause she all mine. All these big yes on her wrist, VVS is on her neck. Make it spinning, I don't stress. Spend it on a challenge, cause she all mine. That my best friend. That my best friend. That my best friend.
Warning, you are about to enter a territory that's designated by men for all men. And while my platform is clearly designated for all men, many times I will be talking about issues that are endemic only to men of the ADOS descent. If you are a woman coming into the Kosher Clinician Show, understand that these topics or topics that are more or less salient to male issues, you need to be mature, you need to be open-minded, you need to listen. To those that think that because they come or allow women to come in this space, that this space will be compromised for the sake of beauty, image, or more or less chicanery of any form, you will be greatly deceived. My platform is designed to empower men and to empower good women that are trying to find resolve. And while my channel is designated primarily for the functioning of male rights and male empowerment, it is good and clear for balance to hear a different perspective. You have been warned.
We're going to have a Fire Festival show on tonight. This has been a show that's been in the cooker for a while. And I want to talk about this show, guys, because we talk about having a more perfect union as it relates to relationships, as it relates to a faltering community that many say is gone, and also as it relates to men getting their needs met. Now, before I start this show, you have to be very mature. You have to understand what I'm talking about. Don't be deceived and don't more or less assume that I'm going to more or less denigrate a person's fraternity or sorority. That's not my intention. My intention is to talk about how many women have been imprinted, and many times, guys, the imprint starts in college. I'm not here to say that AKA or women associated with AKA are women that are promiscuous. I'm not saying that, but it does happen with many times with women in sororities. It starts off in college, and then many times when they get with you, they're not satisfied because many times they had so much fun. I'm going to say it again. This show is not to denigrate anyone associated with AKA or any other sorority or fraternity. But it's more or less to give an educational foundation that many times, many women start their promiscuity in college. And sometimes, not all the times, they start off with sororities. And many times the imprint is by men of fraternities. Sometimes it's also athletes. I myself had the opportunity to pledge Alpha Phi Alpha when I was at NCCU. I never did for whatever reasons. Many think that I'm a Q dog, but I'm not. But many of you men, when you hear your woman say moo, she's really saying roo. She's saying roo. And roo is the signature sign of the Omegas. And she's saying roo because she remembered the time that Chorenzo blew her mind. And see, people don't understand that when it comes down to understanding relationships and the psychological effects of rampant promiscuity on the psyche and the soul of a woman, they just think that they can do that and it doesn't have any irreparable damage, but it does. There's been a bevy of studies that more or less suggest that women that have had a lot of fun have a harder time fulfilling intimacy or more or less enjoying the foundations of the relationship. And so, you got these guys that are, they are advocates for saving the community. And I'm not against that in theory, but being a pragmatist and seeing the world for what it is, I would say that it's done, it's over. The current community must be burnt down and be rebuilt back up again because once again, as I said on yesterday, you can't take new wine, guys, and put it into old wineskin. You got to more or less change the wineskin. But what you men don't understand on tonight is that you are dealing with women that have been imprinted. They've been imprinted Because when they went to college, Chorenzo, he blew her back out. And once again, she's saying, you thought she was saying moo, but she was really saying Ru because, Chorenzo was an Omega. And Chorenzo also was on the football team. He was a buff dude, And so by the time you get with her, you can't please her because, Chorenzo, had that power stroke. And Chorenzo made her a sex addict based on a condition called hybristophilia. Hybristophilia is the love of bad boys and thugs. I did a show on it last year. And it's a woman that has a preoccupation with bad boys. She loved bad boys. And I'm not saying that every man in a fraternity is a bad boy or athlete. I'm not saying that. But it's the illusion of power many times men that come from fraternities and also athletes. Because athletic men are associated with masculinity. Some would say hypermasculinity. So by the time you get with her, you were the last option. And she'll tolerate you, but she's not turned on by you. And so, she'll do the old bait and switch to get you into the relationship. But as time go on, as time begins to progress in that said relationship, she begins to get bored. Listen, many men, guys, are in sexless marriages. They're in sexless marriages. They haven't had sex in years, And a sexless marriage is anything where you have sex 6 times within 1 year. Having sex 6 times in 1 year is not healthy for the psyche and the soul and the mind of a man because T.D. Jakes, guys, said this. This is what T.D. Jakes said. Because you guys don't believe it.
You can buy your own
this is what T.D. Jakes said.
You can buy your own house, but until you create a need that I can pour into, I have no place in your life. So stop coming home bragging to me about how much you don't need me and wonder why I shy away.
Men got a need that they can pour into. He got to be able to pour into her because men by nature are wired to pour into a woman. And many times that man pour into a woman by giving her advice, by giving her instruction, by giving her wisdom. But another way, or the most important way that a man pour into a woman is by using his phallus to emit his essence, which is his seed. But see, by the time you get her, guys, she ain't got nothing to give you because she's burnt out. Her oxytocin receptors are burnt out. Many of them, not all, but she's burnt out. And so, you think you got a quality woman, but you have a shadow of a woman or a woman that does not more or less have what your grandmother or your great-great-grandmother had. That's why when your great-grandmom Gertrude will pass away, your great-great-grandfather or grandfather was the only man that she knew. That's all she knew. And so when she would pass away, she wasn't ready to hop on the phallus carousel. She said, I'm not marrying another man because I loved your great-grandfather or your grandfather because that's all she knew. See, she was able to cleave unto your grandfather because she wasn't burnt out or what the young folks say ran through. She just wasn't. And so I'm not here necessarily to denigrate nobody, but, to the advocates that always talk about SY, save your community, black man, well, what are you giving black men back in return? Because as I said on yesterday, what your grandfather got is not what you're getting today in these modern times. And so many of these women have what's called paraphilias. Paraphilias, guys, is tied into sometimes sexual addictions, sadomasochism, hysterobilia, which is a part of the paraphilia. And so when you get her, you think having fun with her, but she you ain't doing nothing to her. She'll tolerate you on the back end because you're a resource, you're a rat. Because see, you're giving her what Chorenzo didn't give her. Chorenzo gave her the magic stick. That's what Chorenzo gave her. but she's gonna make you her rat. She's going to give you resources. She wants your resources. She wants your attention. She wants your time. And she wants settlement and security for sex that she gave to Chorenzo, the football team, and the frat brothers for free. And many times, guys, some of these guys ran trains on them. I'm not trying to be mean, guys. I promise you I'm not trying to be mean. But I believe that men should get the best bang for their buck, pun intended, no pun intended. And see, you can't deal with a woman where her cup has been overfilled, but also if she's a broken vessel. And see, you can't pour into a broken vessel and expect to have a happy community, because see, your grandmother was not a broken vessel, and your great-grandmom, they weren't broken vessels by and large. By and large, those women were virtuous women. They were honorable women. They didn't have 5 and 6 kids by Day-Day, Shermite, Raekwon, and Man-Man. Her husband, her kids were by her husband and him alone. But see, we talk about forming a more perfect union as it relates to a community. And as I told you guys before in the past, you can't have a community without the honor and respect of men. And then on the back end, you expect to have a community within. You cannot have a community without the honor and respect of men. But on the flip side, you want a community that's within the confines of protection, provision, security, and maintenance. It doesn't work that way. And the show that I'm going to do on tomorrow more or less posits this sentiment. You need a soldier, because see, if she's not a soldier, she can't be a wife. And like Bishop Williams said, y'all ain't going to talk to me. But I'm going to get deep into it on the night, guys, because I am the kosher clinician. And I told you guys that there are 7 steps that a man must go through in order to become an optimized male. And understanding female psychology and how it impacts you mentally and physically is paramount to how you move and how you decide on if you want a woman to be your wife. Because, you know, fair exchange is no robbery. There is no robbery in fair exchange. But there is a robbery, guys, when she give you leftovers from what she gave to everybody else for free. And she'll say, oh, don't judge me based on my past, you know. And but on the flip side, she's judging you based on your future, because see, she still expects you to be a traditional man by default. And I'm going to say this. I'm not against a woman having a past if that woman is honest and she's honorable. And if that woman's past does not supersede what that man wants in a woman. Because women got a right to know what a man's financial past is and any other vestige of his past. That's her right to know. And see, if you come into a relationship using deception, you can't get mad about the consequence that could happen. That man might leave you, or he might do him, or whatever. But you can't get mad because you use deception to get what you want. Because many times, guys, they have been imprinted. And see, what they do many times, they'll get with the sucker simp, or they'll be more wifely for the man that they deem to be their husband. You know, she won't do what she did with Lorenzo and Dexter and Denzel and Charlie and Micah. And she ain't gonna do all that stuff she did in college with those guys, you know, because like I said, you know, if I was a Q dog, I would have been killing. I would have been saying Rue. Because once again, you know, they wanted me to pledge Alpha Phi Alpha when I was at, the Harvard of the South, NCCU, but I never did. But I thought about it, but based on what I know, I just say, you know, I can't do it based on what I know of the esoteric, and I'll leave that alone. But, you know, I'm a firm believer that men should get the best that men work for. If you've done the work, you should say, this is what I want in a relationship. Because, see, when you get with women that have been imprinted, you can't do anything for her. You can't please her, and you can't have a more perfect union because her mind has been captivated by how Lorenzo made her body feel. See, you know, you're on a humping like the Lone Ranger, but see, Lorenzo know how to make those toes curl, you know? And see, when you be looking at her, you know, you think that, you know, you wake up and you look in the background, you know, and she's staring at you. And see, there are 3 types of stares, guys, when they're in the bedroom staring at you. There's one stare that's based on her admiration and love for you. She's staring at you because she said, oh my God, I love that man. There's another stare that's based on deception. But then there's another stare, guys, that's based on disgust. The one that's based on deception many times is the husband or the good guy that she deems as being the honorary man, that she don't want to more or less let that man know that she had her fun back in college. And so she'll stare at you because she's trying to figure out ways that she can continue to manipulate you to make you think she's a wholesome woman. But then the other stare, once again, is when she see you, you're the sucker simp. You know, you don't know any better. You think you got a prize, but you don't. And she's looking at you, shaking her head like, damn. He's pathetic because he can't make my toes curl like Lorenzo, Denzel, Dexter, Micah, Tyrone, and then, you know, when she's off campus dealing with Raekwon, Man, and Shermite. But they say, let's build a community. How can you build a community based on a broken vessel? The vessel is broken. The mind is disturbed. So you can't build something off something that's broken. That doesn't make any logical sense. And as Bishop Charles E. Williams says, y'all ain't gonna talk to me. But the imprint is very powerful. It's powerful, guys. And sometimes the psychological damage is irreparable. That's why when you saw that woman talking about she got murder on her mind, and the chick that had over 2,000 bodies, and we're gonna get into it, that say she gotta find some good peen. She gotta find some good peen because she's been ran through, and her mind has been captivated by so many men that when you get with her, you have nothing. You just have a phantom. You have a shallow zombie. You don't have anything of substance, but she's still expecting you to provide, protect, and be like her grandfather. You know, she wants to have the best. And so you go into the relationship thinking you got something wholesome and virtuous, but you don't. But it's a secret that she don't want you to know about. And see, when we have these conversations, folks get in their feelings. And I told you, I'm not here to castigate nobody's sorority. I'm not here for that. I'm not here to castigate no one's fraternity. I'm not here for that. But I'm here to more or less correlate a picture that's associated with how she became imprinted. She became imprinted when she was in college. She got imprinted. She got turned out. And if you really knew how she got turned out, it would disgust you many times. And many times it will hurt you. Because see, men by nature want to be very territorial over the woman that they say that they love. But see, when you get her, she can't be a soldier because see, she's already imprinted. She's imprinted. And that's why the divorce rates are so high because see, divorce rates are higher, guys, with college-aged women. Now let me say this. I'm not saying that every woman that's in college was a woman that was promiscuous. I'm not saying that. But many of them are. And so, there was a song back in the 70s that said, you want that love and feeling. Whoa, whoa, love and feeling. She want that love and feeling that Lorenzo gave her back in the dorm. She want that love and feeling that Jesse, the 6'6" athlete on the basketball team gave. That's what she want. But, when she see you, she's frustrated. You humping like the Lone Ranger. You on her, riding that horse hard, but, you ain't doing that for her. Because, she's been imprinted. And see, an imprinted woman is not beneficial, guys, to help you meet your mission as a man. Part of a man being empowered is having a woman that he can pour into, and that woman can reflect your mission. But see, watch this. Many modern women have had the essence of so many modern men inside of them, guys. Some would say that they are GMOs, they're genetically modified organisms. You can't do nothing with that. And some call it microchimerism. And see, I'm using, entertainment, but also education to help you understand how promiscuity and rampant promiscuity is a detriment not only to her, but it also is a detriment to you. Because see, as a man, you have a need that you can pour into. And as Bishop Charles E. Williams said, y'all ain't gonna talk to me. Let me read through some of these comments, guys, because this chat is popping in, man. Oh my God. Oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Lorenzo poured into her in college, man. He poured into her, And like I said, I'm not saying all of them, but, many times those sorority girls, the party girls, they get it in, because like I said, when I was at NCCU, I went back in my latter years, but, many wanted me to pledge Alpha Phi Alpha. Many thought I was a Q. But like I said, when you getting with her, you think she's saying moo. You're like, what do you mean moo, babe? Moo. But she's really saying roo. Because she remembered them Qs when they used to lay that wood. Them Qs used to lay that wood, and they didn't lay that wooden paddle. They laid that wooden phallus on it. And so once again, by the time you get to her, you have nothing. You have nothing at all. You have a broken vessel. And you cannot pour into a broken vessel. And listen, many times women like that have psychological damage. Many times it's irreparable. Or many times they got to go through and do the therapy to do the work to more or less overcome the hurt and the pain of being used and abused that sometimes many chose to do. Because you guys know, and I know that men that have options, the top tier men can have their share of women. And because women are naturally hypergamous, women want men that are tall, like myself. I'm 6'5", 6'6", highly educated, deep voice, masculine and dominant. She wants a man that has the best genes that can help progenate her seed or her bloodline. It's normal. Just like with men like a woman with a narrow hip ratio, wide hips, and a fat behind, and perky breasts. It's just in our nature. So I'm not mad at women. But see, when you give your goods away to unsavory men and unworthy men, and then you insult your man and give him less than, and then when you get married, you don't even have sex with him. You make him earn something that you gave to Raekwon, Lorenzo, Dexter, Charles, Charlie, Micah. You gave it to them for free. But you make your husband work for it because, see, inside of you, as I said earlier, you're disgusted by him. And you're just using him, guys, because once again, she just want to make you a rat. She want to make you a rat because, see, she's trying to hit a jump shot at the buzzer. She knows that her glory years are gone. She remembered the times back in the dorms when she had fun. But see, if your granddad was living and your great-great-grandfather was living, he would say, boy, what's wrong with you? He would say, boy, what's wrong with you? Because, see, our grandfathers would never tolerate what we tolerate today. They won't tolerate the level of hedonism that we have here in our society on today. They won't tolerate it. Because, see, it goes antithetical to the psyche of a man. It's antithetical to think that your woman was a GMO to multiple men. And they'll get mad and say, oh, it's in the past. Oh, no, boo, your past matters. Especially if that man is a masculine man. The more masculine he is, the more your past matters. And your past don't matter if he can accept your past and you tell him the truth. But it does matter if you lie. And like I said, some get mad, but you can't get mad. You chose to do what you did. It is what it is. And now you got to deal with the consequences. And masculine men don't want something that so many men have poured into because it goes against their psyche as a man. Men that are masculine like myself are dominant. And we want to win. We want to win every battle. And so in that man's mind, his mind is ruminating on if he was a better lover, than Lorenzo. And even though he might be as good or even better, it's still that man don't want to have the thought of somebody that he care about dominating his woman. Because he watched this, when Adam was alive, Eve was his only woman. She was the only woman that he knew, that he knew, and she knew as a man. And see, when people come into relationships, not saying you got to be perfect, not being damaged, they're able to cleave unto each other better. But see, it's hard to cleave when you are damaged and broken. And once again, the imprint, guys, many times it started into college. And, Ingram, my man, Peaceful Life, My God. Shout out to the boss down, TT Pump Fakes, no doubt. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Chantel Simone. That's my beautiful sister. I call her the exalted lioness. Nothing but love for that sister. Got nothing but love for her. Nothing but love for her, man. I'm preaching the facts, GD said. I'm just keep being real, man. Dale, he said, great grandma married young and gave Papa all the kids he wanted. Yes, sir, right. And Top Gun, I want you to come, not Top Gun, Peaceful Life, I want you to come through in a minute, man. Jaja said women will run around with men with the best years of her life and then want until 30 to 35 to get married because they don't want to give a single man her years and plan to send less of her life. Yeah. Peaceful Life, I sent you the link, dog, so we're going to chop it up in a minute, man, because Peaceful Life was one of the ones that was killing them, man. Oh my goodness, man. But I'm just trying to be real, guys, because, I'm a therapist, and they won't talk about what I'm talking about, but I'm a male empowerment therapist. And also I'm a masculine man, and she's been imprinted. And you can't do nothing with a woman that's been imprinted. It's going to take years of therapy. And I'm not here to, look down on them, but I'm just telling the truth. And they know I'm telling the truth if they look within themselves and be real. But see, many of them have what's called egocentria. You know, when they point the mirror to themselves, they can't handle what they've seen in the mirror. And many times when you tell them the truth, they'll be cussing you out. And in the mirror, guys are doing this. Yeah, she's in the mirror laughing because she know what you're saying is the truth. But see, she got a psychic break, you know, she has cognitive distortions because see, she can't materialize the truth. She can't handle it because when she really look at the visceral damage that she's done, her mind cannot fathom it. But these are the same women that tell you, I want an honest man. These are the same women that tell you, I want a man that's a hard worker. These are the same women that tell you, I want a man that's noble, but you're not noble. You're not honorable. And once again, I'm not here to more or less castigate anybody because I understand people are human, but you have a moral responsibility to be real with the person that you're dealing with. Some of the women, men that you're dealing with, because they've been imprinted, they don't have intimacy in the relationship. And sometimes the imprint was not only through college and sorority life, dealing with the Qs and the alphas and the kappas, but also the imprint was by molestation. And, you know, that part is not their fault. But see, when you willfully try to do what you think men can do and say, men, you can't do what men do because we're not wired the same. Just like a man can't go out here and, you know, be intimate with other men and expect his woman to look up to her. That woman can't look up to that man because he's been entered by another man. Men can't handle that. And see, I'm just trying to give you guys some clarity because, you know, you say you want a more perfect union. But see, some of you are faking the Holy Ghost. Some of you are lying to the men that you're dealing with. You want that man to put a nice ring on your finger, but are you worthy of that? You're not worthy of that. You'll get mad at him and say, oh, you need to make 6 figures, but you're not worthy of a 6-figure man. Because see, fair exchange, there is no robbery with fair exchange because once again, what Granddaddy got, he got a woman that was wife ready. You know, she was a virgin. She didn't have kids by multiple men or no men. And what Granddad did, Granddad gave her his best. He provided for her, he protected her, and he died for her. Because that was fair exchange. Because see, she complimented his need because he could pour into her because there had not been many people in her garden. And he complimented her need because he was a damn good provider. But see, they're trying to get you on the cheap here in America. Ingram talked about it. Peaceful Life talked about it. He said it's called relationship capitalism, which basically means this: the right to live your life unapologetically on your own terms. But see, we have a condition here in America called relationship inflation, where you have women with inflated egos that think they deserve the best, but they don't. They don't deserve it. And that's why you gotta shop far and wide. Because see, why would you shop at Walmart when you can shop at Macy's? Why would you shop at Macy's when you can shop at Neiman Marcus? Why would you shop there? You know, you're a fool to shop there when you have the money and the power to shop somewhere else. But see, you know, they don't want you to have the power to shop because they're narcissistic. They have solipsistic traits and solipsistic needs as well. And see, they want to minimize your opportunity to be the best version of yourself as a man. But see, if you're a masculine man, you gotta, adjust your crown because see, masculine men will adjust their crowns. That's part of being a masculine man. He'll look you straight in the eye and say, this is what I want and what I demand. If you don't meet my standards or my expectations, boo, you gotta go. You gotta go because see, you weren't there when I was in student hall reading those books and writing those research papers. You weren't there. You weren't there when I was cutting grass or reading books on academia and philosophy. You weren't there. You were having fun. You were having fun with the rules and the bros and the kappas and the alphas. You was having fun in college. You was getting it in. But you weren't there when I was burning the midnight lamp trying to become a better man for the future. But you want that man to give you the best when you weren't the best yourself. And as Bishop Williams said, you guys ain't gonna talk to me. Top Gun said this. Top Gun said, imagine paying top dollar for some porterhouse Angus steak and a waitress bringing you some chewed up ribs. Oh my God, Top Gun, you're a funny dude, man. Shout out to Top Gun for that $5. Boss Bob Dana said, Your grandma wanted a husband, a family to raise kids. Modern women want a hot girl. Yes, I just talked to a young lady today, guys. I'm gonna share a story with you guys in a minute. And boss Don Data, you're correct. Want a hot girl, some a whole phase, kids by Pookie, and then hope some good simp marries them 2 kids at age 40 with 40 bodies. Yeah, I was talking to a young lady today in session, and she told me a story about one of her friends. And she got a divorce. She had a 360 liposuction, and all of that. Got a divorce and all. But she told me, the young woman told me, she said, in less than 6 months, she had already had 12 bodies. So how can you pour into something that's irretrievably broken? You can't pour into that. And not only that, if she did it unprotected, then she got the DNA of all those men swimming inside her brain. But she won't give you that and want you to pay full price for it. It makes no sense. Because, see, a woman don't want to wear a wedding dress that, multiple women have worn. Imagine if a man took a wedding ring that he wanted to propose to his woman with. And he gave 20 women, let 20 women try to wear that ring. That woman doesn't want that ring because it doesn't have any value. No different than a man. Shout out to, what's his name, Black Man Unfiltered. He gave the example of a pie. And he said with the example of a pie, the pie starts off as a whole. But you give Dexter a piece of that pie. You give Charlie a piece of that pie. You give Levi a piece of that pie. And damn near by the time you get to the end, you got about 1/10 of what you had that was once the whole. So what are you giving to your husband when you gave it to so many others for free? He gets nothing in return. But you want him to pay all the bills. It makes no sense. Ingram, I would like to add to this conversation, and I know you back there listening, but because you used to kill them back in college, man. Ingram was the reason why the community is messed up, man. Blame Ingram, man, because he was killing them in Seton Hall. But 6'8" All-American. He was killing them back in college, man. But I'll meet yourself, man, real quick as I'm reading some of these comments, man.
Well, I have the first start with my opening statement.
Right.
My opening statement is that I highly frown upon these activities and promiscuity. As you can see, as evidenced by my location, I am not in the streets on a beautiful Friday night. I'm in my home. I will be reading scriptures from the book of Genesis before I go to bed tonight. There will be no activity tonight.
Hey, man. Man, don't y'all believe that last sermon, man.
I'll not be out in these streets tonight.
Ingram used to kill him back in college, man. He was one of the main reasons why they imprint. Shout out to my man XL Pro for that $5 super sticker. Thank you, XL Pro. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you. But Ingram, as I'm reading some of these comments, man, you are a D1 athlete, and I'm not here once again to cast any aspersions on anybody's fraternity, sorority, or anything. But being a Division I athlete, many times the sorority girls got it in. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ingram.
They got it in. The campus got it in. To be honest,
the campus got it in. Right.
Because sexual liberation is a dangerous thing. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'll say once again, I don't promote this type of activity. I promote love and relationships and healthy living. I don't promote. Hold on. They used to call him King Poundfish. But go ahead, dog. I don't know anything about this lifestyle. Like I said, I'm a spiritual man.
You're a spiritual man.
I rebuke that lifestyle.
You rebuke the lifestyle.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that, yes. And I think it's the difficult thing. It's like when somebody takes the red pill. Once you become aware of, once you know, then you talk about relationship inflation.
Right.
It's kind of like, what happens now? Because everything that's happening now, and even especially with the way how women are delaying marriages, and they've been told by women of the other generation to have your fun while you're young, enjoy your life, then settle on a husband later on in life. And with that, the question is, it's different if they're working on their careers and there's no mileage being racked up over the 10 years or 15 years before they settle down. But we know how these streets are.
Right.
You know, things are going on, you know, so.
And you know, we're not here to cast aspersions, but see, Ingram, you know, it's a shell game. You know what a shell game is. I'm going to show you guys an example. And so, once again, she starts off as a empty vessel. No one is in her vessel. But you know, she lets Ingram enter her vessel. No. You know, she lets Chorenzo enter her vessel. She lets Charlie enter her vessel. She lets Laurice enter her vessel. She lets Raekwon and Man enter her vessel. She lets Chad enter her vessel. She lets Denzel enter her vessel. She lets Chorenzo enter her vessel. She lets Donovan enter her vessel. She lets Pedro enter her vessel. And then lastly, she lets you enter her vessel. You're the last fool to enter her vessel. So once again, what is she giving you? Nothing. And many times, Ingram, in these relationships, they end up sexless because that man can't please her, you know, because she's burnt out. The oxytocin receptors have been burnt down, some of them. And that man can't bond with her because she's given her best to so many. And many times she has irreparable damage. So you come into the relationship, you know, thinking that you're the Lone Ranger on the horse, but you can't please her. She don't want to tell you because she don't want to hurt her feelings. But every now and then, you know, her body goes into reaction because she gets frustrated because she remembers what Chorenzo, the 6'9", the 6'8", the 6'5" basketball player could do to her body when she was in that college dorm. Talk to the people, man, because, you know, I think you were Chorenzo.
No, not me, but you forgot one thing with that cup. You're supposed to get like a handful of change and like 10. You need about 10 quarters to drop in that cup at once. You forgot the group enter that vessel. It might have been 10. You need some 10 quarters and dropped in that. Right. I mean, like I said, it's different out here, man.
It's different, man. Right.
And you gotta be wise, because what happens now is, and you know, we talked about, you know, a lot of videos be coming out about the soft girl era,
right?
And about not being the cleanup man. We try and do the best we can in this man's content to help educate guys. But what happens inevitably is that dude's in a relationship with this woman, and she's getting flashbacks of the past, because like I said, there's some heavy pounding out here in these streets, and she's been out these streets for 10 years. Now right. She resents the guy.
Right.
She did, you know, because that's not the guy she wants, and now it's about security and building securing the bag for her, or securing the man for her, because before she gets too old. But now it's a situation where he's pissed.
Look what Cortez said. Cortez said, "I do will have his physical cologne, but she used to smell the weed." But go ahead, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
No, I mean, that's the problem. Like, now you have the relationship where she's flaking out on the dude because, you know, he's not that dude that you know, like you see the Will and Jada situation where you know, she's been heavily imprinted upon, and she got, you know, Fido over here next to her. And that's not the type of dude that she gets down with. She has the alpha imprint. And now she's flaking out on him because, yeah, she married him for resources and security, but, you know, we're animals, and people are attracted to what they're attracted to. You know, and like I always say on my channel, is that women don't change their taste in men, they change their taste in lifestyles. Mm-hmm. So she like who she like. If she is a Raekwon, Chad, man type chick, she's always going to have that thirst in the back of her mind, you know? Because you know, men, we learn to compromise on things for peace. We'll compromise on, okay, we're not going to have everything we want in a woman, but we're comfortable with this, and we can live with it with peace. But women, they're slaves to their feelings.
Yeah, they are slaves. Let me read you some of these super chats, Ingram, real quick. And I want to read something that Tim Harden said. But it's true, you know. Shout out to my man MC Recovering Well. He said, "Congrats on the 5K subs. Got my 6 hours of CUs on the way. Bring them that 5 for your mind, no doubt. Appreciate it, MC Recovering Well. Thank you, brother. Appreciate everything that you do." Shout out to Gregory Scotland. He said, another great show, Culture. Women would use shaming language on panels to counter men when they bring up these issues, accusing men of whining, being lame, weak, or exaggerating. I appreciate it.
That's a deal, right?
That's
a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
We're going to talk about that, Ingram, because they say, oh, you just insecure.
That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
And she had the whole football team, cleaning her guts out and putting their DNA and say, I would be insecure. I don't feel secure with a house that's been entered by multiple men. So I'm not insecure by default, but as a masculine man, you don't feel secure in that situation. Hold up. Shout out also to my man, James Turner. He said the fact that you have an AKA for this topic in the thumbnail is worth the $20 left for left. And that's a deal, right?
That's
and
a
James
deal,
Turner,
right?
man,
That's a
because
deal,
you always
right?
show love and support James Turner. James Turner,
That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
But James Turner, you are the #1 sponsor of this stream. Ingram, have you ever been in a situation, man, when you walk up to your girl, man, and she was staring at you?
No, man. Like I said, man, my thing is this, man, even with the young ladies now, I mean, I want to talk about it a lot, is that make sure you're with a woman that you're her sexual select preference. You're the type of guy that she would have dated when she was 21.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if you're getting into a situation where you're not her guy, you're going to have, and it's bad enough we deal with a lot of issues with relationships, but if you're really not her type in the first place, you're likely to have more problems with that woman. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. And I think a lot of guys talk about certain things, especially in this space, is that if it ain't zero, then it doesn't matter. If a woman is not a complete virgin, it doesn't matter. Well, there's a big difference between 5 and 500. And you see the lady that came, the one chick, the rap chick that came on and said she had like 2,000 dudes.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it.
But that's a whole other story. But the whole idea is if it ain't zero, then it doesn't matter how many men the woman slept with. They're not even thinking about, I haven't met any woman that I've met with high body count that's mentally, right. I haven't, because you got to look at the psychological parts of trauma, and you're being a therapist, it. I mean, you somebody, women are not supposed to be passed around like some Skittles and shit at the baseball game. And that there's a trauma there, because we're not thinking that young lady's been kicked out of apartments, passed around in dorms. There's a psychological price to pay. And like I said, I don't condone any of these behaviors. I think it's terrible. They're egregious behaviors. I frown upon them highly frown upon them. But
a bird told me your name was King Pounder, man. They said you were causing the chaos in college, man. But let me ask you a question on a serious note. You saw sororities in college. I'm sure at Seton Hall they had the white Greek life and also black Greek life. And you being an athlete, what did you see about these sorority girls? Because like I said, I think the imprint many times starts in college. What's your take on that? And tell the audience what you saw in college that would suggest that many of these women were imprinted by the athletes, because you were a D1 athlete.
Well, I mean, obviously women are attracted to money, power, and fame, or even the possibility of that person becoming famous. But a lot of times the sorority girls are dead. That's the foundation of the hot girl summers. I mean, these girls get into these clubs, but more importantly, like the free flowing of, remember, most of these dorms are co-ed. We're not dealing with, all girls or whatever. So you have, guys like, when I stay in the dorms, I'm on the 3rd floor. Women are staying next, 1 unit down from me. So you have a complete mixture. And this is the first time that people have been away from home. And there's a proving ground with these fraternities because they all brag about, I got this guy, or I got that guy, or I'm with this person, or I'm with that person. So, like I said, sexual liberation changes the whole mindset of it. So women are more promiscuous, and they look at it as a badge of honor now.
Right.
To say that I slept with all these different guys. So
right.
Especially when they're young, they're not trying to get married or settle down at this particular point. It's all free flowing, and it's like being in the 1960s and you're hippie or something. You know what I mean? It's it's all free flowing. So that's usually the mentality that you see now on some of these campuses. So it's just what it is.
Yeah. It's a condition, man, called hybristophilia, and I did a show on it, man, in the past. And hybristophilia is the love and the preoccupation with bad boys. Let me bring it up. Hold tight. Let me bring it up real quick. It's a sexual interest and attraction for those who commit crimes, and so that's normally the Jaquans, the Raekwons, the Man-Mans, and the Day-Days in them. And it's a psychological condition because that's what the imprint is. And people think I'm crazy when I say it, but it's true. So I'm going to read it. And so hybristophilia, it's a sexual interest and attraction to those who commit crimes. In some cases, this may be directly towards people in prison for various types of reasons. Cortez Smith said a quote a minute ago that was very funny. And he said, you can wear some smooth, good-smelling cologne, but she's used to Bud Light and weed.
That's facts, man. That's what she likes. She like what she like,
She like what she like, man. And you remember the song back in the day, she said, I want a roughneck. You remember that song?
MC Light.
Yeah, MC Light said she want a roughneck. She don't want a good, wholesome man, that's, kind and, nice, because I think that's why so many of them get bored when they get married. But like I said, although among the possible causes, we find the following: a history of abuse. Some of them have been abused. That's why I said sometimes it can be sexual abuse. Studies have shown women who have a history of abuse in their childhood tend to choose sexual romantic partners with criminal and aggressive profiles. This continues the pattern of abuse. And once again, that woman sadly was imprinted by a man that abused her. Does that make sense? You see what's going on, Ingram?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
She was abused by somebody that imprinted her, but she was imprinted. Men can get imprinted as well, but it's different. Many times it's not through sex, but it's through the mind. And they'll tend to get partners that were just like their mom. They were sometimes abusive verbally and sometimes physically. But do you think women that have been so imprinted by so many men, Ingram, can help build this pseudo community? Because, we talked about SYSBM. We talked about Save Your Community Black Men. But what is he getting in return? And see, many times, Ingram, they can't answer the question. What is the black man going to get in return from a woman that's been imprinted by so many different men? What is he getting in return?
A bunch of hell. That's what he's getting, and a bunch of problems. And Top Gun brought up a good point. He said he put something in your. I don't know if you want to read the super chat, but he said, "Can you touch on the imprinted old Mother Hubbards who attempt to shame our young lionesses?" And the problem with them too is misery likes company. And what happens inevitably is that they've made their mistakes. They've not played their card right. And they're caught up in this loop now where they can't really secure a quality man. And they're stuck on these trips to Jamaica. Mm-hmm. And what they're doing is they're trying to ruin the lives of the women before them by telling them to go out there and sow their wild oats and be out here in these streets, as opposed to teaching them that you can get an education, you can get a career, and you can get a husband at the same time when you're young, and don't allow yourself to rack up all these bodies and to end up in their, instead of preventing women from ending up in their situation, they're recruiting them to this club.
Right.
And that's the dangerous thing. That's why these women can't be listening to these what the Top Gun call them, these granny serpents, and all some of these other women in these spaces, selling them nonsense of this, you see it on Fox Soul with a lot of these women, that have not played their cards right, that have not managed their youth properly, and now they're on that, that last leg, throwing jabs.
Right. Right.
But in terms of the community, the problem you have is, how can you build a community when you've given away your best to some of the worst situations with men in your early years? What do you have to offer? And then when men come to them with any type of standards, they don't want to live up to any standard. They don't want to offer anything of value.
Right.
Other than some, I don't even want to say there was some used box and a bunch of bad attitude. So what are they willing to sacrifice to build this community when you ask that question? And the answer is nothing.
Nothing, right. Because see, your grandmom, your great-grandmom knew that her virtue was her ability to more or less value her body. That was her virtue. Her ability to nurture her husband, her kids, and help her husband build the community and also the legacy. But you're not getting any of that now. You're not even getting a modicum of that. But they'll come to you and say, oh, he got to pay all the bills, and, a real man, I'll take a woman that got, 6 kids by 10 different men, or a real man don't mind, is not insecure about how, I'm very not secure. I don't feel secure going into an environment that 100 men have been in, and they all put their essence inside there. I don't feel secure. And that makes me not insecure. Damn it, I'm insecure. I don't feel secure. Because, see, I'm kosher. And, see, it's not fitting proper for a man of my caliber to go into an environment that many men have emitted their essence inside of you. That doesn't make me feel safe. So, I need a safe place. I need a kosher woman. Because see, any man in his right mind, a chick that's had all those bodies, how can a man look up to her and feel proud, and you know what I'm talking about, man. Many times, after they get married, they get bored, they get sick of you, and they want to go back to college. They want to go back to college and relive their glory years. They remember Chorenzo, and they say they'll be talking to their girlfriends. They'll be like, girl, have you heard anything from Chorenzo?
Right.
And, oh yeah, they say, yeah, girl, Chorenzo was the man when he was in college. He was that linebacker or that Q. Yeah. Or that that sexy dude that yeah, girl, the women used to be crazy over Chorenzo. He was light skinned with green eyes, or he was dark skinned, bald head, and chocolate. And so that's what their imprint was. But see, here you are about 5'7", got curved legs like Danny DeVito.
That's cool, man.
And you think you're the man, but she just tolerates you because you got a good job. You work for IT. You make about 75 to 100,000. She'll tolerate you because you satiate her biological imperative. But her heart it yearns for Chorenzo. She yearns for Dexter. She yearned for the time when Dexter made her toes curl like that witch on the Wizard of Oz. That's what she yearns for. But you can't handle that because you're just an average guy with an average phallus, and that's not a bad thing. The indictment is not on demand. The indictment is on her for giving her virtue to so many different men. But they say let's build a black. You can't build a black community off of brokenness.
No,
you can't build a community off of women where their vessels have been contaminated by so many different men. She's not ready for the office of marriage. But she.
You say contaminated.
But she wants you to pay all the bills, man. You got to pay all the bills.
It not only that, it's offensive. You think about it.
It is offensive, right?
Okay. If a woman is I'm not supporting any of this men.
Hey, hold on a minute. Let me read this chat by Top Gun. Hold tight. Top Gun said, can you guys touch on imprinted old Mother Hubbards who attempt to shame our young lioness? And, I appreciate it, Top Gun. Well, I'm going to touch on it. What it is, Top Gun, they know they gave their best away. And so, you call them granny serpents, some of them. But they get frustrated because they're projecting their pain. And sometimes the truth is a reflection of the horrors that they went through. Sometimes the things that you might be saying could be more or less re-triggering them because they know in the internal dialogue that what you're saying is true. So it's a projection based off of pain. And, they can't handle it because of cognitive dissonance, because the cacophony going on inside their heads when they hearing the rules, when they saying rules, when they was on the yard, they hear the omegas on the yard stomping. And so they remember them omegas used to blow their backs out. And so when somebody else tells them the truth, they can't handle it because it's counterintuitive to their psyche, and so it caused them to have that cognitive split that so many talk about. And so I think that's part of it. What's your take on it, Ingram?
Yeah, I totally agree, man. And they, like I said, women like a coalition, and they recruit other women to this coalition. So if it's a bunch of women that are single and misery going on the Jamaica runs, and I'm going on the cruise trips and trying to get their black backs blown out in Trinidad, Jamaica, or whatever hole they crawl into to get the, whatever the guy's name is down there in the islands, which look, that's on them. But they want to recruit other women to be a part of this coalition. And that's why you see a lot of them sabotage each other's relationships. They'll sabotage each other's relationship and each other's marriages too, by putting bad information in women's head. They might see a woman that's in a good situation, got a good man. And we know we talk about the sin of envy. Envy is more powerful than greed.
Right.
And women are ruthless when it comes to sabotaging, putting stuff in her head, creating problems where there is no problem. One might have a good man, he's taking care of the home, he's doing what he's supposed to do, and they'll find fault because everything that woman, says, they'll take it and magnify it and use it as a weapon to disrupt the situation because they want to have a coalition of women that are single and miserable just like them.
Yeah, misery loves company, man. Misery loves company. I want to show you something, but shout out to my man Emma Z. He said, facts, kosher. As an ex-gangster, he says, as an ex-gangster, most black women came to me sexually, but since I changed and now mature and stable, most black women in my hood no longer approach me. I appreciate it, and I think that's true. G-Dot says that the upside world is America. She gave her youth, beauty, and virginity for free and expects a successful man to take care of her where she's old, unattractive, and
Well, Kosher, that's the worst part of that situation is this. In her mind, she's locked into her value at 22. Mm-hmm. So she doesn't see herself as whatever age she is now. And what she does, which I think is quite offensive to a lot of men, is she tries to find that guy in I call it the secondary market, the post-prime market, and she wants to charge him the price of marriage. Mm-hmm. And many times she's had kids, she slept with a bunch of guys, but she wants this new guy to pay the price of marriage when those other guys before got to have babies with her, got to pound away at her, and didn't have to play. It's almost like robbery. It's kind of insulting and disrespectful because here you are, you didn't manage the situation well, and you're going to say, okay, I gave these guys my body for free at $1.99. I'm going to charge you $1 million, kosher. Mm-hmm. And that's the ridiculousness of it because, and that's what's so offensive to some guy. And it's almost like intellectually insulting because they're saying you're dumb.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you didn't see that, you didn't see that this woman has like 300 bodies on her and she's coming talking to you about marriage. Marriage? What are you talking about marriage? What's left for the marriage?
Right. What's left for it? Right. Right. And you talk about relationship capitalism. That's been your war cry, and I helped parrot it and added the word inflation. It's an inflated market. It's getting worse and worse. And I'm going to show you guys what me and Ingram are talking about because they think I'm doing these shows to cast aspersions, but no, I'm not. I know the game. Most men know game, and I don't want to see young men get caught up in lies and deception. Because if you've done the work, you deserve the best. Now, if you're a dusty, you don't work, you're lazy, you got 5 and 6 kids by multiple women, you got a bunch of women pregnant, you didn't take care of your responsibility. That's something totally different. But if you are an honorable man that's done the work, you study hard, you prepared yourself, you got to demand the best. You don't settle for mediocrity. You got to damn demand the best because watch this, she's expecting the best from you. Am I right or wrong, Ingram?
She's expecting the best from you, and her coalition will try and shame you into compliance. Mm-hmm. That means it's saying if you're not going along with her plan, like if tonight is a nice, beautiful Friday night, if somebody texts my phone, tell me to come over, and I say no because I recognize that it's a trap, they'll try that. Are you gay? Or all these other things that they say to men to try and shame men into compliance with their plan because why won't you sign up for this plan or why won't you get with this person? And as they get older too, it becomes a situation where if you're a successful, hardworking black man and you're on your own, you're living on your purpose, you got your stuff together, what they try to do is they try to, if you're not getting with one of them, and you're not taking these bad deals, you're not taking her because she's out of shape, you're not taking her because she has the wrong mindset or been out here on the mountain council too long, they will go after your manhood. And that is that is the greatest ploy of a lot of the sisterhood. They'll attack your manhood to try and get you into compliance, because to them, in their mindset, every black man is supposed to sacrifice his life for community and be the cleanup man. And when you don't act in the court, when you act in your best interest, it's like you're a traitor, or you betrayed.
Right, you're a traitor. Right. It's called a static black community. I'm gonna do a show called a static tribe. We're gonna talk about a static tribe. And a static tribe is a correlation of consciousness where men think alike. They expect everything based on what they've earned, and they don't tolerate mediocrity. But they assume and presume a peaceful life, that all men are the same, that because our skin color is black, that we have a universality of consciousness, but we don't. No. Because see, when we came on the slave ship in the movie Roots, they said, who speak the language of the Wolof? Who speaks the language of the Igbo or whatever? Who speaks the language? They weren't from the same tribe or the same nation. But see, they tried to more or less, amalgamate or align you or put you in a melange just because your skin color is black. And what I'm saying to young men that are listening, you have a right to deserve the best if you've done the work. If you have not done the work, then you cannot expect a top tier woman. But if you've done the work, you can demand the best. You don't have to settle for mediocrity. You have a right to say, this is what I want. And when they try to come with you with that shaming language, say you're insecure or you're controlling, all you say, you're damn right. I'm not secure, boo. I'm not secure based on what I don't know. I said, right, I'm not secure. I don't feel safe. I need a safe place because I don't know where you've been and what you've done. And see, as a masculine man, Ingram, well, when you're on campus being an athlete, you play power forward center in college, and when you go back to homecoming, and guys snickering and laughing at you, like, what the hell are they laughing at? Right. Because they remember that when Ingram used to.
But you know what's so funny is that you look at now, everything has changed because. I got the invitation in my mail for my 30-year high school reunion, man, and time is unkind, man. Everybody, and sometimes you don't want to remember those. You don't want to be a reflection of some of those. You want to remember your experiences as it was in the time and moment. You want to capsulize it and lock it in that time period because everybody don't look the same after all these years. Things have changed. You don't want to lose those good memories. So.
Right.
I think I skipped the reunion.
But I think men, if they take care of themselves, eat clean, eat healthy, men get sexier as they get older, man. We get the salt and pepper swag, man. You take care of your skin look good. I mean, you and I, I'm 51, you'll be 48 soon. And I think we look good for our age, man, for the most part. Oh, yeah. Mine is about 60 pounds or 40 pounds I got to lose. MC Recovery said they got that Jerry Curl and Jerome and the house player. No doubt. Shout out to MC Recovery. But Boss Don Data says this. And guys, I'll get the likes up. If you're not donated to the channel, donate. I'm going to hit the banner. Donate to the channel, guys. I appreciate what you guys are doing. But Boss Don Data said, hold tight. He said, old desperate women are a effing headache, especially in the workplace. Wish I had one of those cannons that hold clowns down at the circus. I'm going to let you elaborate on that in a minute. And then Boss Don Data also said, facts, older women chase the ever-loving effing that blank out of me in their head I'm like, damn you. You 40 to 50, you not the 21-year-old chick no more, and still got an attitude that was only tolerated at 21. What's your take on that, Peaceful Life?
They give me hell. Mm-hmm. And what they do is this. They're so used to black men, like I said, being the cleanup men, that what they do is they attack your manhood to try and bring you in compliance with this altruistic, could save the community thing. Like even with me, I have two adult boys. I'm retired now and whatever else. They want you, and they look at you, well, you selfish. How could you just be living your life, enjoying your life? Don't you want to come and get one of these wonderful heavily pounded single moms and start a new life with her and take care of another man's offspring. And I'm like, no, that's for the birds.
Right.
And when other black men tell them no, hell no, and move on with their life, they get offended by that. And that's what they feel like you're a traitor or something, because that's the mindset and the programming of the community. It's this welfare mentality, like black men owe you their lives.
Right.
You're offering them a horrible deal.
Right. I totally agree. I'm going to show you something that Tim Harden said, and Tim Harden is correct. Let me show you something real quick. Ingram, hold tight. I'm going to share this with you and show you something. And I want you to talk more about sorority women. You were a D1 athlete. And once again, I'm not here to cast aspersions to women of AKA. I'm not saying that. I'm not here to disrespect no one's sorority or fraternity, whether you AKA, Delta, or anything. That's not what I'm here for. But we know there's some truth in what people are saying, because like I said, I had a chance to pledge in college, but I never did. But I'm going to show you guys something real quick. Hold on. Hold tight. And this is what Tim Harden said. Can you see it, Ingram?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, so Tim Harden said, I've had enough AKAs to know that's the truth. That's the truth. Your food and thinking their food. I had enough AKAs to know that that's the truth. Your food and to think that they're wholesome when you're in college, but soon you find out that they can be some of the biggest tramps. What's your take on that, man?
They're very liberal in their mindset towards, passing around, passing around the WAP, I guess, put it like that. I mean, and that's very competitive with those women too, because they all, especially when you talk about some of the HBCUs and other places, they look at the football team, the basketball team, the whatever, and they're all competing for the same guys, or whatever, on those teams, and they don't mind, knocking each other out the box to get at those dudes, and that's the mentality that they have. So, and then also they have, and it's for bragging rights. Because a part of being a part of a group or a club is, hey, it's highly competitive. So with women, when you put a bunch of women together like that, when you compact a bunch of women together, girls go wild, and that's what it comes down to.
Right.
That's why girls going wild.
Yeah, man, and it's unfortunate, man. And I want to show you something, Ingram, about hybristophilia. It's a show I did last year. Let me show you this clip. Hold tight. And then we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that tab. Hold on for a minute. 1 minute.
Tupac Shakur was the iconic symbol of the past that many women actually more or less desired, based on his strong persona and his persona that more or less exuded masculinity. But because of that, many would assume that many women have developed a condition called hybristophilia. Hybristophilia is part of the paraphilias as it relates to women loving abusive men. Hybristophilia could be more or less diagnosed or led to many things. Some feel that it's the possibility that some that grew up in poverty, or women that were more or less byproducts of poverty, have more or less gravitated to men that are aggressive, abusive, and violent. In this show, we want to explore and examine how hybristophilia has played a role in the impact of the ADOS community, and why some of these women that have more or less been associated with bad boys in the past could have a condition called the thug imprint, which in essence led to hybristophilia. Besides Tupac Shakur, there also was another iconic person by the name of MC Lyte. MC Lyte had a famous song from the 90s said, "I want a roughneck." And that roughneck persona more or less caused a lot of women to gravitate towards men that were thugs and bad boys versus men that were men of virtue and class. Could it be that nature and nurture were more or less coalescing together? Could it be that nurture, which is the social environment, played a greater role than the actual nature of a woman itself? Or is it a combination of both, that many women more or less have an internal dialogue within themselves to seek to deal with men that more or less project power and strength, which in essence cause them to get with men that really are damaging and hurting, or more or less men that are damaging and more or less have caused them pain in the past? Have the bad boy culture and the roughneck culture caused some of our women not to be wife ready, but also not to be suitable for a long-term relationship because they have a great love for bad boys? Sit back, relax, and enjoy this show.
All right. So Ingram, what's your take on that, dog?
Well,
what's your take on Bristol Philly? Go ahead, brother.
Oh, it is a fact. You know what I mean? Especially in this culture, because, you know, and what is it really with the thug or the bad boys? This indifference, really. I mean, women get praise and compliments from so many men and women. The idea that a man just doesn't care about, you know, and they seek that approval and validation. Women like attention, they like validation. And the fact that this guy gets a lot of attention from women, or he doesn't even care about her validation, is, I think, what it draws her in. And there's that indifference mindset that keeps them coming back for more. And even then you'll see, I mean, could you imagine a guy, a young man, or some dude, you know, he got some woman in the secondary market, one of these guys, he simped and married some woman. He was the cleanup man. And she's walking in the mall with him, and there comes that guy that she used to like from back in the day, and she starts catching emotion and catching feelings. You see him in the mall, and you're like, what the hell is going on? You know, that you say, well, that's XYZ, you know. He didn't speak to me. I can't believe he didn't speak to me. Right. She's all mad and feelings and emotion and stuff like that. But she always remembers that guy who's just indifferent to her and kicked to the curb, and she's catching feelings, and you're like, well, yo, you know, you're my lady. How you catching? What are you even talking about this dude?
Right.
You know, and you see it even now in the culture where a lot of the women, even the married women, have these work husbands and all these friends, these male friends, and so on and so forth. So they're always, even in marriages nowadays, chasing that guy that they want, because like you said, that heavy imprint that you talked about.
That heavy imprint, right.
It's on them. And like, why are you catching feelings about this dude not talking to you? Because he's in her head.
He's in her head, right.
And he's in other things too, probably in her DNA. His DNA is flowing through her bloodstream. You know what I mean?
No, but it's true though, man. I mean, you know, they said tell the truth and shame the devil. Top Gun said the fact of the matter is these women are proudly out rebounding Dennis Rodman and putting up Wilt Chamber numbers with no shame. You're right, Top Gun. We're gonna talk about it in a minute, man. But Cortez Smith sent me a video. We're gonna look at it, Ingram, and we're gonna break it down. We're gonna break it down comprehensively. And
yeah, I mean, you think about it, man. Like dude be like, you know, dude be wondering like, why is his girl so mad that this dude didn't speak to her? But you know, that's that imprint, man. And it could be psychological as well, as much as physical, because that's the dude that dusted her off, gave her that indifference game, And now, especially, these women are addicted. Like I said, attention is the new dangerous drug in America.
Right.
And it's like crack, that dopamine rush of attention and validation, and the fact that some guy don't even care about their existence, it just turns them on.
Right. And, you know, some men, Ingram, you know, these men give them, these women, and I'm talking about good men, give them these women the best. They work hard, you know, but all of a sudden she said, you know, because of no fault divorce, I'm not happy anymore. And so they go on hot girl summer. As I told you earlier, a young lady was telling me about chick got a divorce and got 12 bodies in less than 90 days. And they go on hot girl summer and rack up all kinds of bodies. And but then once they rack those bodies up, they still want to come back to you on the back end, want to resell it back to you, already damaged. You know, I came up with a concept called the open box principle. And, you know, an open box is a box, you know, you open the box up, look at the goods, survey it, you close the box and put it back on the shelf. But imagine some of 20 men or 100 men open that box up, you know, and touch the product and put it back on the shelf, and then the store tried to sell it for a whole price. What would you say to that store owner if they want to sell that box that's been touched and opened by so many different people and they want to sell it for a new price? What would you say to that person? Would you pay for it?
I consider that adulteration, which is a crime, and you know, you're changing the product, and you see it too. I mean, you see it too. That's why these women be getting these BBLs, and you got older women that are Generation Xers getting BBLs and other enhancements to their bodies. They'll spend their last dollar to get that, to try and rebrand that, you know, rebrand that old. How would I put it? You know, they'll try and put themselves back on the shelf past the expiration date with all kinds of things that they try and do. But again, you're getting a bad deal, and no matter how they try and sell it with shame, it's just a terrible situation, man.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree, man. Yeah. Gail Nelson said we need to bring back shame. She said I saw a video of earlier of a woman in India who's a feminist and decided to divorce her good husband, and no one in her village, even her parents, would talk to her right. Thank you, Gail Nelson. You're right. No more shame, man. And shame is what kept people in line, man. But you know, these hyenas now, you know, they'll run around with their dirty tails. And, and they want lions like you and I in the pack. But lions don't lead packs of hyenas, man. We kill them. We destroy them. We just toss them back in the Serengeti, man. You know.
Remember that text thing I sent you yesterday with that, you know, with the young lady that bragged about, you know, basically behaving like a man, where she brought the guy over, let him pound her out, everything else, put him in an Uber, sent him home.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Remember that one year?
Right.
And she's saying, you know, see women, we can be just like you men. And blocked his number, saying I'll never call him again. And all the men were like, can you teach me a lesson too? Remember that one?
Well, let's play it real quick. Hold tight, because I think I had that clip. Hold on, if I can find it. Let me see. Which one is it?
Let me see. I might have it.
Where's that clip? No, I got it, Ingram. I actually, let me see if I can find it. Let me see.
Yeah, that was some funny stuff, man.
And you know, I don't know if it was a show. Hold on for a minute. Hold on. I think this is it. Hold on. Yeah, this is it. Hold on, Mingo. This is it.
All right.
So this is a clip I did on yesterday. Hold on. We're gonna because it was funny, but it was also delusional. Women that think they can give their best away and expect a man to pay full price for it. Guys, do me a favor in the meantime while this thing is loading up. Guys, the robot told me to tell Ingram that inflation is high. Get them likes up, guys, and go check out my man Peaceful Life. But in the meantime, guys, go get the likes up, feed the robot. Thank you. Yeah. Tim Howell said having a community of men and a DNA inside her. Yeah, that's why they want you to build a community.
Yeah, but I'm saying
they
like,
want you.
they starting to operate like men. I mean, it's crazy, man. You know, I'll let you get that clip up, but you know, it's crazy how they, you know, they're thinking in terms that there's no consequences for those behaviors. Now, like I said, I don't support men contributing to the problem at all.
Right, true. Right.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like they don't even need to, because again, they're, you know, we got to the point where now, especially with the new WAP culture, where they're monetizing their bodies and they're being encouraging to trick off themselves.
Right. I totally agree.
Profit, you know?
Right. Tim Hart said, Kosher, something else not being talked about. He said a lot of these Greek women become baby mamas in college quite early. Especially in the South. Gail Nelson said that there's a 60-year-old woman who slept with 5,000 men, and someone still married her. What fool? 5,000? Can you imagine that, Ingram?
Man, these simps are outrageous, man. They'll do something, but you know what they're saying? Dirty water will pull out the fire, and apparently, you know. That's what's happening out here. But let me tell you something. And that's why some of these men say this stuff about, if it ain't zero, it don't matter. It does matter if it ain't zero. There's a big difference between 0 and 500, or 5 and 500, or 10 and 500.
Right.
There's a tremendous difference between those two numbers, so it does matter.
It does matter, right?
Yeah.
They'll say it don't matter, but you got 5,000 bodies.
Well, that's them rationalize that the women that they would have been heavily pounded. So they're like, well, you know what? I got to make it sound good, because I love her. You know what I mean?
Talk was say that SSI check is bathwater. All right, hold on. Let me show you this clip. Talk peaceful. Like, hold on a minute, man. Hold on. All right, hold on.
Was she right? Should men be focusing on SYSBM instead of saving the community? I think she's right. She's on to something.
See their ankles, because that's unfortunately is 80% of the women in the community.
Right.
So if you want to save the community, tell the ladies to go to the gym, teach the ladies how to stop having kids out of wedlock, and that's how we'll save the community. So yeah, Black women thinking, oh, we can just say I'm soft now, or we can say, oh, I'm a pick me, or we can say I'm feminine now. It's extremely disrespectful to our men when 80% of us are still walking around having to wobble.
Shout out to Mona. Mona, tell me what you disagree with there. It's okay if you disagree. I don't mind disagreeing, but tell me what you disagree with, Mona, in the clip. Thank you, dear.
Are foreign women the best option for American men in the West? You decide.
A husband is your protection and provision. So, and I can't speak for all foreign women, but in those countries where there is no social programs, like, there's no EBT, there's no SNAP help, there's, no stimulus checks, none of that. There's no matriarchy. And I think that's a big issue here, is that women are told they deserve the world for just being women. And with that mindset, when you don't feel like you have to earn anything, the first man that comes up to you, you'll be like, well, what can you do to impress me? I'm the prize. I was told I was the prize since, I was 10 or so.
I invited him to the crib, cooked for him, gave him the sloppiest neck you can manifest in your mind. Let him fold me like a origami bird. Called him an Uber. Then blocked him and never spoke to him again. I really beat him to the punch. We are going to learn this game too fast. But the question remains, is she really learning the game fast, or is she a fool to the vices of her own ignorance? You guys know, and I know, that some are advocates for save your community Black men, but with women like this sadly manifesting typical modern day behavior, is it safe to say that men should save themselves? We're going to explore the dynamics in this.
All right, so
Man, the lines is right all across town at her house. Like sign.
Oh my goodness, man.
And the crazy thing is, like, that is completely a masculine thought.
It is, man. Very masculine, man.
Oh my God.
Very, 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 very masculine. But they want you to come and put a ring on something like that. They want you to save the community for women that have been heavily imprinted. And see, peaceful life with no fault divorce. With no fault divorce, man. How can you expect a man to give his best with no fault divorce? They've been heavily imprinted. Is it safe to say, because of all those variables, that it's very dangerous for a man to get married in these modern times? Is that safe to say?
Yes, it's very dangerous. and you did this survey at one time, talk about how many women are wife ready, and I calculate a wife worthy, and I calculate about 5% of the women in that particular community, and then many of those women are already married. But I mean, at this point in time, we have women that are not even raised to be wives. So what are you trying to do now? Obviously, they're getting into these situations for the benefits of marriage, but they don't want to be wives. And that particular tweet or whatever it is a reflection of the mentalities that you have. Now, when she gets older or whatever and worn out, she's going to try and secure herself a good guy.
Right, good guy, right.
Right, you know, to help her out. And you're seeing it now with the soft girl era and the girls coming out. That's the type of woman that comes out in the soft girl era and tries to lock up a man for his provision and protection and security and maintenance. You know, well, I would mostly say for her provisions, because they're so government empowered. They got 911 on speed dial on their phone. So I'd say provisions. But that's the type of women that are out here in this market that they want to build the community on. And
right. You can't build a community on broken vessels that got the life force of all the men inside of her. Karan S, shout out to him for that $10 super sticker. And that's a deal, right? Karan S says a man can wash off the essence of a woman. That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? A woman cannot wash out the essence of a man. Epigenetics is real. She holds those men's seed for life and impart their seed into the man she marries child. Right. And that's why many times you look at it, and you say that you had a baby with her, but I think with this microchimerism that the baby can look like somebody else but be biologically your child. And that's why that can be very dangerous. She might look like you, but if she got the seeds of multiple men inside of her, that child can have some of the genetics and some of the DNA of all those multiple men. And when you think about it, man, it's disgusting. That's why you call it a genetic modified organ.
Well, they try to pretend like it's the same.
It's not the same.
Us and them.
It's not the same, right?
And people keep making that argument, like when people come and say, "Well, what about a man's body count?" Well,
no, it's not the same.
It's not the same, and people keep trying to make that equivalence or that parallel, and it just doesn't make any sense, man. Women are not supposed to behave like men, but you have so many of these masculine women and thinking that they do the same thing what men have done to them. So that's a chick that got pounded out heavily by guys and never get called, no return call. They ghost her. They pounded her out, ghosted her, never called her back, broke up with her, and they never saw the guy again. So now what she's doing is thinking that she's going to return the favor to men. But now she's just wreaking even more havoc on her body. And, hopefully, in a couple of years, then she'll realize that, hey, oh my God, this stuff, these guys are pounding me and walking out the door with a smile. I'm not winning because they're not offering me anything of value. I better go get me some simp to sign a contract and get in a situation where I'm getting some type of provisions from him. And that's what happens now,
No, you're right. Special Deliverance said Cortez Smith, the dude that married Mia Khalifa, filed for divorce because he couldn't take it anymore from men disrespecting him and reminding him his wife was an adult film actress all the time. Yeah, that goes against a man's nature to know that so many men had your wife. You see, when Adam had Eve, she was bone of his bone. Watch this, flesh of his flesh. But see, these modern women are bone of Chironzo. She's bone of Tyrone. She's bone of Raekwon. She's bone of Madman. She's bone of so many bones. And she's been boned so much that she can't bond with you. But you sitting up there thinking, oh, she love me. No, she don't love you, boo. She just use a come up. Because see, she remember when she got her back blown out in college. And she remember when her toes were curling like that witch on the Wizard of Oz. And you're just getting a shell of a woman. You're not getting a whole woman. You're just getting a shell. And that's why, Ingram, I hear so many men when they get married, they get frustrated because the sex stops. They do the old bait and switch. They used to have sex like the Lone Ranger, but then all of a sudden now they get married. And she said, "I'm tired, my head hurt," but your head won't hurt when you've given your body You know what? I maybe my head was hurt, head was hitting that baseboard, man. So I was on
baseboard and stuff, man. Well, it's they got what they wanted, to them, they secured the marriage, and that's why I said this secondary dating market is dangerous, and that's the problem with a lot of these, like I said, these old women. They're encouraging these women to get married later and later in life and focus on their career. They're really screwing their life up, because we know that the best value a woman can get in a man is when she's younger. I encourage women to get married before they're 25, way before that.
Right. I agree.
Your adult years, get married as a young woman. I mean, you don't want to be a situation where you're in your 30s and now you're dealing with geriatric pregnancies and things of that nature. As an older woman, where there's higher risk factors. But these old women think that, time and biology gives a damn about their career and their job.
It don't.
And like I said, they want to encourage these women to be out. So what are they doing in the meantime that they're not married? It's not like they're out here, a woman sitting out here and she wants to get married at 35. And so let's say she gets in college at, she's finishing up college at 21. From 21 to 35, that's a hell of a lot of time to be out here getting pounded out. That's a lot of pounding, man. I'm not accusing women of being out here getting 14 years of pounding. I'm not accusing that. But there is speculation that if you're not in a marriage, in a serious relationship, what are you doing in 14 years? You're not celibate.
Right.
And even just the emotional scars of turning over relationships, is still going on. What's going on in the 14 years that you're not married and not have a husband? The streets are what they are. So that's the question. How do you account for the last 13, 14 years of your life?
I totally agree. East Coast Cam said after 5,000 win, the walls are jerk. That's a good one, man. That's a good one, East Coast Cam. Shout out to East Coast Cam. Special Delivery said that that's why more and more men are getting their passports, because they keep on hearing stories like yours and mine about the treatment and that we're getting for women overseas, no doubt. Hold tight. Yeah, it's deep, man. We trying to give you guys some free game. I might put this on Patreon. I need to get me a Patreon, man. Me and Ingo giving y'all too. I'm gonna actually take some of these shows and put them on Patreon and also put them on Locals or something, because I'm giving away too much free game, man. This is free comprehensive game. Top Gun said, can a woman with high mileage can a woman have high mileage and Who talking about crazy here? Can a woman have high mileage and femininity?
I mean,
oh my God, you funny.
I think you'd find that in another country different, because the difference between some other countries is you go into some country that's maybe a third world country or something. A woman may be doing that stuff or selling her body as a means of survival.
Right.
These ones over here are doing it by choice.
Right.
They're in WAP culture.
Right.
So they're trying to monetize their body as a way of not having to do any type of work or commit to a serious relationship. So they've been taught to do that. I mean, they've been taught to do that by even some of their family members, their aunties and grandmoms and all the other people tell them to stay out here and don't get married quick. Don't let no man tell you what to do. Girl, you live your life. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's all great and wonderful until you turn 55.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. Shout out to my man CD Jedi said for the $7 super sticker. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, Jedi said. And Gail Nelson said a nightclub in Sydney also has banned a nightclub in Sydney, Australia has banned starting without consent, geared towards men, of course. They will ban you if a woman tells the bouncer, I'm convinced the West hate men. Yeah. Shout out to Dr. Dunn. Shout out to him. Appreciate it, Dr. Dunn. I appreciate it. Yeah, the microchimerism is real, guys. They don't believe it, but she can't bond to you because she doesn't see you as anybody that she remembered that gave her that imprint. And that's why when people talk this foolishness about saving the community as a licensed therapist, we look at things through the bio, which is the body, through the psyche, which is the mind, through the social, which is the environment, and also which is the spirit. Some of these women have what's called spiritual soul ties. They have soul ties, Peaceful Life, of all those men's spirit. Because see, women are containers, they're vessels. Right. And so when men pour into them, she reflects that man image. But say she got 50 to 100 men inside of her vessel. You can't do nothing with that. You're dealing with a mutant. You're dealing with a GMO. You're dealing with a genetically modified organism. You're literally dealing with a mutant. Right. And you can't build no damn community off nothing like that because it's too much damage, man.
Well, the thing to ask, the question, I'd ask the question to women is this. Okay, what are you willing to sacrifice to save this community? Are you willing to walk past that 6'7", 6'8" basketball player on campus, or that football guy, and go date the guy that's a accounting major sitting over there and chilling and with his glasses on, doing that's going to be the future CEO, or that's going to be the future good guy working? Are you really willing to walk past Pookie, Ray, Raekwon, Man on the block, thugged out, pants hanging down, whatever? That these bad boys on the. Are you willing to sacrifice not taking part in any of this derelict behavior, sleeping with low quality men to save the community? That's what I would ask black women, chasing athletes or messing with athletes and superstars or monetizing your body and actually finding good quality, hard earning men that are average men, which is an outstanding man.
Right.
To create this community. And they'll say no. They don't want to give up chasing guys on the basketball team or chasing thugs or guys that are hustling or scammers in their younger years. They like the scammers, the fast money brothers. They like the athletes and whatever else. That's who they're going to go for. But they're not willing to give that up to build a community. So what community can you build?
You can't build a community because, as I said before, Peaceful Life, a community without the honor, respect of men cannot have a community within the confines of protection, security, and maintenance. You can't have both. Fair exchange, there's no robbery. Quran there said, I know a woman whose children have a man whose children have behavior issues. Neither him nor his wife had issues as kids, but the man who imprinted her was a demon child, no doubt. And I believe that, man. That's soul ties. And that man it's one thing to have sex with a man with a condom on, but imagine a woman that got that man's seed inside of her. You got men that got kids, and that baby looked like some of the guys or many of the men that she dealt with. They all got characteristics of multiple men. That's an insult to a man because now that man knows that his DNA or his imprint will always be in that woman, regardless of what she do. She can't change the imprint. She got the mark of the beast, man.
Well, that's the bad thing too, Kosher, because they've been using deletion of children as birth control. So you haven't even considered how many deletions they have had in the past as well, because some of them might have had 4 or 5 deletions, and that DNA is already in them. But they have used. That's why they're so pissed off with the Roe versus Wade thing, right? Because no matter the fact that there's almost 30 sources of birth control, they still use deletion as a form of birth control. So how many deletions has she had? I'm not saying. I'm not knocking. There's men that have done things that should not be doing. I'm holding them accountable too. You should be knocking up no broads.
Right.
But you have to consider that how many deletions have been going on as well, and how many situations where there's no contraceptives that have been used, that DNA has been shot in there. She got knocked up. She went down, used the assistance to go down to the local clinic, and how many times that's been done. So there's all kinds of factors involved in it. You know what I mean? You talking about build community. I don't know how you do it.
You can't do it. You cannot build a community with broken vessels. You can't. And so every time you have what I call, Peaceful Life in law enforcement, we call it Pollyanna and Cassandra. I think the Pollyanna was the negative one, overly negative, and the Cassandra was the positive. I can't remember which one. But they're so positive that they don't understand psychosocial dynamics. They don't understand how it works. And so you need to have a kosher community or at least a quasi-kosher community to have a healthy community. The more fun she has, it greatly reduces her chance of having happiness in a marriage.
Right.
But see, the sexual revolution told them, you can do what men do. You can have fun. The boomers started this foolishness. And it's taken to a whole nother level now. And so by the time she get married, she don't have fun having intimacy with her husband because she gave it to so many other men. Whereas like me or you as men, we can have multiple women, but we still could be in love with that woman that we're dealing with, because sex to men, it don't mean anything. It's physical for the most part, and you still can love the woman that you're with, but they don't get it. Coach, Special Olympics Coach, you and Peace of Life are doing an excellent job tonight. Thanks for not using the Dallas Cowboy color. we appreciate it, no doubt. Yeah, she got the mark of the beast, Dr. Dunn. She got the mark of the beast.
Yeah, man, they got the mark. Because like I said, a woman's been out here for 14 years, 15 years. She hasn't been celibate. Most of them have been. And then, you add in deletions and you add in all these different things, and you have some guy coming in the secondary market, and she's telling that guy, well, I'm tired of playing games. I want to have a serious relationship.
Right. Right.
What about black love in the community? The guy like, what the hell? You've been out here for the last 15 years getting pounded out. Why are you trying to rob me? You know what I mean? They're coming at you with this stuff and like that. Like, well, what's wrong with you? Right. Don't you see it like a good woman when you see her? And they talking to you like they're 22, brand new.
Right.
Like you've been out here for 15 years getting pounded out.
Right.
Why are you trying to rip me off with, that's like, no disrespect to the ladies. And like I said, that's like somebody trying to sell you a vehicle with 400,000 miles on it for brand new sticker prices. Like, you bought me a Lexus with 400,000 miles on it, but you trying to tell me I got to pay brand new price, like I'm buying it fresh out of the dealership. That's what marriage is. Marriage is brand new price, and you're charging me marriage price? No, give me the same deal you gave the 100 dudes before me. Make it equitable here. Why are you trying to beat me? You know what I'm saying?
Right. And it's embarrassing, man, because a man in his inner core, a masculine man want to protect his woman. But if she's been imprinted by multiple men, that means she's been conquered. Now, every man that touches her does not mean she's been imprinted by every man that touches her. But out of that pool, one or two imprinted her heavily. And so what the hell are you getting if she's been imprinted? You're not getting a damn thing. Now you gotta do all the work to help her unpackage all that BS. And you gotta deal with the BS, even though you didn't do nothing wrong, and you gotta pay the price for the bad choices that she made. But yet they'll tell you to be honest, but their asses are not honest. They'll say what they deserve, but they haven't given you their best. And they just suspend. Then they get mad at you because you're telling the truth. See, I always told folks on Peaceful Life that the truth doesn't care about your color, race, or creed. The truth is just the truth. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't mind saying I'm wrong for some issues, because we got our flaws too. But the thing about you and I, we can handle the truth. Most of them, they can't handle the truth, man. They get us. They listen. When you pull out the evidence, man, this is what they do. Peaceful Life. They beat this damn like damn Smeagol on Lord of the Rings, because they be having them scheme afflictions, man, and they can't handle the truth. And when you bring it to them, many times they get mad like Aunt Esther, and they'll say this.
What did we do to her? You mean what did she do to us? She had the nerve to call us witches, and she was right. You three ugly witches.
Yeah, let's be honest, man. You could imagine you pounding away, and I wish there was like a flap on her butt. You lift the flap up and look on that, like 400,000 miles on this. Yeah, then she turns around and say, "Hey, I want to be wifed up." You're like, yo, whoa, baby. I know, you got 400,000 miles on this wop here. You tell me you want, say, look, hold on here. You try. This is a stick up.
Right.
You want to be my wife or my serious lady? You got 400,000 miles on this wop. Oh hell no. What kind of deal would you take? I'd be like, nah, man, come on, man. That's messed up.
Boss Don Data said a schizo affliction, not a schema. but I'm gonna pull this video up. Hold tight, man. People, like, hold on, and I want to show. I want to show folks something real quick. Where's that video at? This lady is horrible. But before I bring a shout out to East Coast Kev, he said that there's a real hoe culture in America. Did you see She-Hulk on TV twerking with Meg Thee Stallion? Wow. Oh my goodness, that's a deal,
bet, right?
Wow.
That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
That's a whole culture, man.
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
And but they say they say save the community. How?
What? It's a whole culture, and they trying to charge full price. That's the part. Like it's a whole culture, right? And you're saying to me, okay, all right, you can pound away at this, but at an 80% discount, some dudes might be like, okay, 80% off, you got a deal, baby. Because like I said, some guys say, hey, look, if I'm driving around in a used car with 400,000 miles on it, charge me used car prices. You know what I'm saying? Don't try and swindle me and make me believe that I'm getting a brand new car. And that's my whole thing. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm not paying you brand new prices, which is marriage, for some 400,000 miles. Hey, we need to negotiate. I'm looking.
Right.
Maybe 80, 90%, I'm in.
Well, they said they want a man to pay all the bills, but men are saying, based on them numbers, the higher them numbers, we're gonna prorate this relationship. Boo. I'm not paying all bills.
Kelly Blue Book on this.
Yeah. We're gonna prorate it. Ain't nobody paying no damn all them bills, man. All them bills ain't gonna get paid. You got high bodies, man. I'm sorry.
In fact, I think you need to pay like 70% of these bills. I'm dealing with some serious depreciation here.
Oh yeah. What you pay now? Depending on them numbers, we'll prorate it. We'll prorate it, but you ain't a virgin. You can't expect 100%. We'll do it based on the numbers. You
better not be broke. Don't come to me. Imagine coming in the secondary dating market. Woman's been out here for a while. Your 401k better be stacked. If you haven't been married and you're like 34 years old, you better not come to the table for some good, productive man to be broke.
Right.
You better have some serious money in your 457 401k. Have your own house. Have your own car, because you're not giving the man the value of your virtues. So you're gonna have to offer something else.
Yeah, I totally agree. Shout out to GCLA for the $5 super sticker. He said, when a woman says she don't want a guy that plays games, it's a diabolical move. She doesn't want to deal with the man games while she runs her game. Yeah, I agree with that.
Absolutely.
And Tim House to protect. Now, guys, I pray that I don't get any trouble with this, but this is fair use. But I have to be, so let me give you guys a warning. This is graphic. I don't know how much I can play. I might have to skip through some of it because this woman is disgusting. But once again, guys, this is what happens when they are imprinted. Not only have they had multiple deletions, they've been imprinted hard. But they said they want you to, build the community and save the community of wicked women of such. But let me show you guys something real quick, and I might have to play through some of this, guys. And shout out to Cortez for sending me this. But hold tight. I might have to speed through some of this. Oh. Yeah, I don't know how much of this I can play, man, because I don't know if YouTube are censoring me for it. But hold tight.
I'm BDF, nigga, baby, daddy free. That mean I ain't got a nigga.
And so this woman, guys, is at Planned Parenthood talking about baby daddy F nigga, whatever. And see, these kind of women, Peaceful Life, are typical of what you see in modern America. That's right. 304 culture, man. But they say marry this kind of, excrement that has the DNA of multiple men inside of them. And they say build the community, save the community. See, I can see Peaceful Life if the community were a community of women that were, had low bodies, they didn't have a bunch of kids by multiple men, they were wife ready. Then, you can save a community like that, but you can't save this because these women are damaged. Hold tight.
Bitch, I got murder on my mind.
She says she got murder on her mind. And see, we wonder why our this is typical in many communities, especially in the hood. But they want you to give your resources to wicked women like this that have been imprinted. And see, many times, Peaceful Life, some of the educated women are just like these women because they're ratchet. You know, they're educated, but they're ratchet and educated. Would you not agree with that?
Oh yeah, if I've seen educated women that admire Cardi B. The president of the United States, the current president of the United States, during the election, interviewed Cardi B as a representative of the community. So
right.
The only community you're building with these women is a community of brothels. If the black community turned into one big brothel, hey, these are the perfect women for the job.
Yeah, I totally agree. Hold tight.
I got murder on my mind.
She says she got M on her mind. Can you imagine a woman doing a rap song about the destruction of children?
Right.
She got murdered. And you had some of these chicken heads that were saying her rap was fire. That's how wicked our culture is.
Right.
You know, Anton was right when he said black culture is trash. And he's not saying, he's saying in context. And in context, I agree with him. The current culture that we see here in America is trash. Not only black culture, American culture is trash. Right. Because we celebrate debauchery and hedonism. But hold tight. I had to speak you some of this stuff, man. I might can't show all of this.
Yeah, I think you on the edge right now.
Okay, I'm on the edge. All right. I'm gonna stop. Hold on.
Yeah, stop, brother.
Couple years to go. I don't need a babysitter because this baby gotta go. It's a shortage on the.
All right, I'm gonna have to speed through it, man, because it's too graphic. I wish I could show you guys all of it, but you guys get the drift, man. This is the culture that we live in now. But this GMO, guys, she's the GMO. She's the rapper that got 2,000 bodies. She said she got 2,000. And she got that imprint. You know, the imprint.
Truth.
Is
okay,
strong.
I've been literally, I remember I lost my virginity at 12 years old. I remember the boy, everything. I remember the whole day like it was yesterday. But 12, bitch, to now, it's been a lot. Girl, is it just my body count for just niggas or niggas and bitches?
And see, you know,
she's a savage.
she's a GMO. But you know what, Ingram, you will be surprised the amount of women that have had bi-curious relationships. You will be surprised. They've done studies that said many of them have had bisexual relationships. But they'll be the same women that tell you better not sleep with a man. They say, well, if you slept with a man, I can't deal with it. But they have all kinds of mess. You know, bi-curious. They've been with men and women. You know, because you think you're dealing with the spirits of the men, but you're dealing with some spirits of women too. And that's why you can't deal with that kind of debauchery, man. You can't build a community off of toxic soil. You just can't do it. And that's why I tell men they would be fools to try to have kosher relationships with women here in America. Hold tight.
Everybody.
I would say like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I say like 2,000.
Can you imagine 2,000?
She ain't playing, man. Damn.
If she had to be an X-Man, who would she be, Ingram? She had to be an X-Man. She probably had to be. She would be Venom, man.
Yeah, something. But you know what's crazy about it, Kosher? You know these pro-black people that with their selective outrage.
Right.
They will be supporting people like this. They'll be supporting criminals. They'll be supporting, the Cardi B's, the Meg Thee Stallions, and all these other people that are destructive to the community with their music and their ideology. And then they'll still talk about save the community, but they'll never, ever hold these people accountable. In fact, they will play the victim narrative to blame somebody as to why this person's this way.
Right.
And that's what's so crazy about many of these people is they'll try and blame this on somebody else. They won't even hold her accountable for this behavior. They'll say it was the white people's fault, or maybe it's the record executives that own the record company's fault, as opposed to people don't have a choice or any type of agency in the decisions that they're making in 2022.
Right. Yeah, if the woman got 2,000 bodies, man, she had to be damn doing at least at least 100 bodies, 100 bodies or more a year, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna get her age. But
This is damn crazy, man. Hold tight.
To be real honest, like if you put niggas in bitches, because I done fucked a lot of bitches too. So I be fucking niggas, I be fucking bitches. And I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna front. Like, I'm gonna keep it blood raw. Like, bitch, probably two bands, 2,000 bitch sexual partners. Absolutely.
But we celebrate this foolishness.
Right. She says that proudly too.
She
It's
says
like
it proudly. It's a badge of honor. Right. But after she had all her fun and about damn near 42, 38. Then she wanna hit the buzzer at the shot and get a husband, get a simp, to put a ring on her finger and wear a white dress.
That's why these pro-black people can't talk to me. I bet get your goofy ass out of my face. That's how I tell them straight. I was like, get out of my face with that nonsense. Tell it to somebody who don't know no better. You see this goofiness out here in the street, you're not building any community with this. Only a crazy man would think you can build a community with this nonsense.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. I totally agree. And most folks don't get it. Hold tight, man. Hold tight. I want to hold tight. Let me pause. Hold tight. But yeah, they don't get it, man. Hold on for a minute.
Top Gun, you're funny.
Boy, call me, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, man.
But what's your take on this, man? What's your take on this foolishness, man?
It's complete, utter chaos, disaster, failure, hopelessness, and the only thing that's going to I don't even want to use the word change. I always talk about capitalism and competition and whatever. When guys, basically, you have to build a new society, new tribe. Just bail out of here, man. Like men just gotta get their passports, go somewhere to a culture that doesn't worship this type of nonsense, and let the people, the pro-black people, the community saviors, and all that. You can have all these women. That's what brothers are saying now. All the community savior, Omar, and all them. They can have these hyenas here or these heathens. They can have these souls. Black men are not going to be smart. Black men are not taking this nonsense. That's why, like I said, a new culture, new community. Like I said, you're gonna have to, like you go back to Genesis 19, where Lot had to leave the city of Sodom. Sometimes you gotta leave the city of Sodom. You can't look back. You might turn into salt.
Right. Shout out to my man Top Gun. He said Glocktavius is rubbing his hands in lust. No doubt.
Yeah.
And he's right, man. The whole time
Absolutely. Yeah, it is what it is. You know what? Hey, only God could judge me. I don't give a fuck, bitch.
And she said, only God can judge me. But no, boo. Not only can God judge you, that petri dish from your gynecologist can judge you too. That petri dish can judge you too, man. And they always use it, Peaceful Life, as a means to justify their bad behavior. They say only God can judge you. I can judge you. You can judge them as well, because a man that got standards and quality, man, you don't want that for your wife, man.
But this same woman would look a man in the eye and ask the man, when are we gonna get married?
Right. When we gonna get married? Right.
And her friends and people from the community would say, well, what's wrong with her? That's her past. She's different now. And they'll like, why won't you want to wife her up? You men ain't nothing. You man ain't ish.
But you know what's so crazy, man? Let a man say, you know, when I was in college, I slept with a man. He said, that's in my past. When it come down to his past, it matters. Let that man say, I didn't work, I stayed with my mom. I got bad credit. You know, I got 2 kids. I got multiple kids by multiple women. And he said, that's in my past. She's going to judge that man's past, and she should judge his past. But see, she's going to judge his future based on his past, but he's going to judge her past based on her future with him. And they don't get it. Am I talking right on Peaceful Life?
You're talking facts, but that's just the way they are. They only can see.
They can't see outside themselves, man.
They can't see outside. They only, and that's what you have in a matriarchal culture and in an environment where we completely shame. And that's what really happens now. You can't tell them nothing. You can't correct. They have like I'm saying, they don't really want the men because many of them are alphabet or flow back and forth. What they want is the resources. So when they see men going overseas and they see men going away, what it is the loss of the insurance policy that bothers them the most. Because right now they're going to go and try and monetize their bodies as much as possible for those types of women or the ones that are focused on their career. So when they see men leaving or going away, they say, whoa, we ain't got nothing now. You know, because we know Gloctavius is not a long-term thing. We're depending on these guys to stick around and clean up this mess when I get 40, when I get 45, I'm going to settle down and find me a nice guy and get married after she's given away her best years to the streets.
To the streets,
and,
right.
In the back. And then they're going to try and shame black, which is, you know, don't get me wrong. Black men take some black men, many black men take some low standards, but the community is so based around this relationship welfare mentality and this altruism that tries to shame black men. And we're the only group of men that are not free and trying to get. It's like if you look at the white culture, could you imagine if they tell some productive white man that he has to go down to the trailer parks and pick up a woman and marry her, and he is not a white man because he doesn't do it? Well, they try to do that with black men. If you don't go down and wipe up one of these 304s, you're not black.
Right.
And that's the type of mentality, reverse that type of toxic, stupid, ridiculous, hustling backwards mentality they try to use on that psychology on black men is they try to black shame you or call you names because you won't take a bad deal. And you won't be their cleanup man or their janitor, and you're not supposed to have anything nice for your life. And the worst is the simps that come in these spaces that try and shame men. That these simps, that try and project. You talked about it. They're really talking from their mama. That they're protecting their mamas and their cousins and their aunties and their cousins and sisters that are out here, thotting it up out here in these streets, and they're trying to save, men or whatever, or protect the community of them, because they know inevitably that ratchet behavior there's a price to pay for it.
Right. Shout out to Super East Coast Kev again. He said, even if you do find what you want in the States, do you really want to raise children in this culture? I don't want to raise my dog here. And I agree with him 1,000%. Thank you, East Coast Kev. I appreciate it, bro. He's showing a lot of love tonight. East Coast Kev also said, Top Gun said that Gloctavius rubbed his hand unless I read that. He said, you missed my last super chat, but it's all good. Like I said, why raise kids here? Once again, thank you, East Coast Kev. I appreciate it. And there's no reason to raise kids here in this culture, man, because it doesn't benefit a man. It's an uphill battle consistently. It's an uphill battle, a battle of distress, a battle of pain. You're fighting against a machine that you can't win with. And that's why men got to more or less live their lives on their own terms. Don't get caught up in the hype. Flavor Flav said don't believe the hype, because the hype is to give your best to something that's not worthy of your best. Absolutely. And based on what we know of Peaceful Life about the biology of some of these women, man, it's just dangerous for men to get with women that have had that amount of imprint. That woman, that rapper and that woman with playing, they're just typical of many modern women. The only difference is this woman was foolish enough to tell the world. But there are many women like her, many that have had bi-curious relationships. I might even do a show on that. But once again, let a man say, I slept with a man, or men. That man's going to be castigated, and rightfully so. I don't blame women for having standards. That woman should have a right to say, I don't want a man that's done whatever. But men got a right to say that as well.
Well, they try and shame. They call it now slut shaming. Mm-hmm. So they try and shame the shame. So there's no shame and accountability. Mm-hmm. So you won't judge them for their past. All these, and we talk about, the Black community itself is the liberal indoctrination camp's playground.
Right.
So anything that has to do with values, if you can shame and demonize anybody that tries to hold you accountable by saying what she said, only God can judge me. Only God can judge me, as what she said, which is to deflect that if you. And it's a deflection mechanism that if you are judging me, now you're against God. So now we're using God, a religion, and we're using shame the shamer, so that there's no shame. As this, it's like a mind molestation, and you know it better than me. You're a therapist. You know what she's doing. She's trying to deflect and protect, but at the same time living the life of a heathen. So it's a crazy thing we have in the community, because you can't tell nobody nothing. To be honest with you, it's quite dangerous too, especially with these unconscious simps. That's the term you came up with.
Right.
These simps in the community, especially the ones that come in men's spaces caping for these women, are dangerous. They are
dangerous.
That mama stuff, will get somebody hurt, and that's why they be shooting up the place.
Yeah, man. You try to tell Raekwon that his mama won't worth a damn, and Raekwon to get mad, and Raekwon to say this.
Yeah, put chain on them balls on my mom. That be broken balls. Kill some of my mom, bro. They back. You look like
That's on my monkey. That's on my monkey. That's on my monkey.
That's on my mama, man. These degenerates, man. These are the spawns of women that had unprotected sex with Raekwon and Man and Day and them. Because they have been imprinted by unsavory men. And then after they had all their fun, they want you to come in and be the cleanup man and put a ring on it. They want you to put a ring on it, And you know what? Some of these women are so sassy, they be singing that song by Beyonce that they're irreplaceable. They'll say to the left. They say that they're irreplaceable. But see, once men understand that they have value and that they could get superior to the women that they're doing. A typical woman, a typical foreign woman would be a 6 or 7 here in America. And or maybe even an 8, some of them. And once men understand they don't have to settle for mediocrity anymore, they can get the best of the best. They don't have to worry about disrespect or disparaging comments, man. They don't have to worry about it, man. And once men understand that, man, they can get the best. And they don't have to go back. Kendra Hicks said that I told brothers, you can't marry no promiscuous woman who has the extremely high body count. You're right, brother. I agree. East Coast Cav said 1 Corinthians 2:20-2:15. He that is spiritual judges all things. No doubt. You're right, brother. Yes. And also it says East Coast Cav, Book of John. He said if you judge, make sure you judge righteous. So it basically means that you can't judge somebody till you judge yourself. But you can judge because, see, what people don't understand is that lawyers judge, doctors judge, all human beings have the right to judge. She's actually judging you based on your past and your future. She judges you. If you're too short, she's going to judge you. She says her preference, but she's judging you against her own standard. But when you say, I got a standard, all of a sudden it's a problem, man. And, and that's why I tell men to live their lives on their own terms and be unapologetic about it. I'm going to ask you a question, Ingo, as we get to, how much more time you got, bro?
I'll hang with you about 5 more minutes, man.
5 more minutes, okay, all right. Hold on for a minute. So what would you say are the solutions? So what's the solution moving forward? Hold tight. Here's a part of the show. Hold tight.
This is the part of the show where we find solutions.
What are the solutions moving forward, Ingrid? What's the solutions?
The solutions is very simple. You apply capitalism towards the way you approach business and your relationships in life and the way you approach your situation. And what I'm saying is treat dating and relationship like a business. And that's why I support the Passport Brother movement. And like I said, nobody's going to take care of you. So you're trying to get the best value for your life, period. And we've got to get rid of this altruistic mindset that you owe somebody something. Like, you're not a slave. You're not indebted to anybody, especially any community. And your job is to put yourself as a man in the best situation possible to be successful for your life. And so when I came up with the term relationship capitalism is by taking a capitalistic approach to dating and relationship. What that means is that, because right now we have this non-competitive mindset in the Black community where people feel like they're owed something. It's a welfare mentality where you're owed a good man, a good quality Black man. You deserve a good quality Black man, even if you've lived a ratchet life and a disgraceful life. Black men are supposed to lower their standards, sacrifice their life for a community that doesn't value, respect them, or honor them. But but now in 2022 and beyond, capitalism is going to be applied to capitalism reinforces accountability. And if you're not meeting the standards of what that man deserves based upon what he's earned, the solution is not to reward people that are low life, low quality, that are not willing to put in the work, not live up to standards. And the only way you're going to change any habits, not that we even care about changing, is to inject competition into the system. What that means is men get their passports, go other places, explore the culture. You work hard. You deserve to have a good quality woman in your life if you want it. And you deserve to be in an environment where masculinity is respected and honored. Use that resources that you've earned. Put yourself in the best situation. So the solution is capitalism, competition, options, and raising the value on good, honorable, hardworking men that you don't have to settle for anything. Why would you be settling after you bust your ass to go to school, worked hard, saved your money, disciplined yourself, kept yourself clean? Why would you listen to these retards, simps, and especially many from the pro-Black community trying to shame men into taking bad? Why don't you tell them to go wife up some of these 304s and ruin their life, or some of these toxic women or masculine women or women that have other men's seeds with them? Why don't you go sacrifice your life for that nonsense? The brothers that support your channel, support me, are going to live life on their own terms. And salute to the Passport Brothers.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Yeah, I think the Passport movement is it's killing the game, man. It's taking things to a whole nother level. Why do you think it's killing the game, man, in your opinion?
It's killing the game because it's opening the minds of men, the minds and hearts of men, and it's showing them that there's another option. You don't have to settle for mediocrity, and you don't have to listen to these fools who are trying to convince you that your life is not a value worth living and your happiness is not a priority. And that's why it's killing the game, because it's saying, okay, you are free. Black man, you're free. You don't owe anybody any obligations or allegiance, especially if they're not even willing to meet your standards, offer you any value. And that's really what it's about, the option and the freedom to choose. It's bigger than even Passport community, is that Black men are free. We don't owe you nothing, especially if you don't if you don't even want to adhere to our values and standards. So you're looking for handouts, and you can't build any community out of a welfare mentality, which is that you deserve a relationship just because of the color of your skin, and I owe you loyalty just because of the color of your skin. So the content of your character does not matter. Why do I owe you something? Because you're Black? And that is the worst standard for anybody to build anything from, or a community from, or anything of that nature. And I think that's a trash mentality, and it's a non-competitive mentality, because we only have standards for men in the community, and I think that's ridiculous. You can't build anything with that. I think you're mute, brother.
That's why men got to set the bar, man, and that's why these conversations are so important. Because for so long, we just tolerated mediocrity. We don't demand anything, and we got to get back to how our fathers and our grandfathers were. Men of the past will not tolerate what men are tolerating now, man. They won't tolerate it, man. They wouldn't tolerate it, and they wouldn't even look at it. And if men would start raising the bar, and they are beginning to raise it slowly, and start saying, you know, if you don't meet my standards, you know, and they're going abroad, man, because they see the salt girl era. I call it the salt girl because it's a bunch of bitter women masquerading as feminine women. And they're just saying, you know, I can't be part of what I'm seeing now. I got to get with a woman that I can pour into. You can't pour into a broken cup. You just can't pour into it. And that's why people that don't understand system dynamics don't understand that the typical woman in the West, regardless of her race, is not adequate for a wife, but she's not also wife ready. You talked about some Peaceful Life about men that were in sexless relationships. And I'm going to guesstimate that many of those women got pounded hard when they were in college.
Viciously pounded out. I mean, smashed. Vigorously, you know.
What's your take on the men, man, to talk about not getting, how can I say it, not getting cooperation and being in sexist marriages in college?
Well, you mean from nowadays in terms of these
yeah. When you was in law enforcement, you talked about men that were cops, and they were saying that
what happened is that was never her guy, and these women just wanted to secure the bag and secure the relationship. And once they got married and they got comfortable, there was no need. They didn't feel any challenge to put out anymore. I mean, you know, and you know, you have guys that were complaining that, you know, my wife hadn't had sex with me in 6 months. Whatever relationship issues or dynamics they have, I don't know. But when you have to see some of these women that they just didn't want to do anything. I mean, they didn't really want to offer that man any value. And those were women that were not really. They didn't see taking care of their husband as a duty. That means you married a woman that's not a wife in the first place. And that's the problem with you dealing with these modern women and women that were not raised to be wives. They want all the security and protection and provisions of marriage, but they don't want to look at the duty, the honor that comes with marriage and taking care of that man. So what happens once that deal is done, you know, you get that bait and switch for a lot of these modern women. And not only that, is reinforced by the culture in their family, because they're sitting around watching Housewives, they're watching all these shows, they're looking at social media, which is telling them that they're being cheated of some type of. And so what happens is that guy gets caught on that treadmill of happiness. And if he's not doing something that she sees on the Housewives shows or the movies to warm her heart and make her feel like she's been cheated, even though she has a husband, a household, bills are paid, things are taken care of, his standard is always going to be what's going on Housewives. So they're not going to be. And that's what I see a lot of these guys in these sexless marriages. The woman is very unhappy because she was not supposed to be a wife anyhow. And you know, like I said, the sin of envy and social media and TV and whatever else, you've got the modern woman is never happy. She's never content with her life.
And when you say she wasn't supposed to be a wife, what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean by that is she's not raised in a culture where they prepare women for the duties and responsibility of marriage. Mm-hmm. She was not raised to serve a man or to take care of a man. If that person was raised as a feminist or whatever else, she doesn't see taking care of a man as a duty. In fact, she sees it as slavery. She sees it as being abused, or I should never let a man have this type of power over me, you know. Mm-hmm. And what am I going to? I'm not your slave, so I'm not going to. You know, that's the way she sees it for those women that are raised in an environment. So you're taking a feminist and converting her into a wife, which is a terrible thing.
What role has social media played on that, in your opinion?
I think social media it's played the role because, one, it has expanded her scope of attention and validation. And also it creates a problem for the sin of envy. If she's looking at other relationships, it's because social media, you know, always say it's sad people with happy pictures. So if she sees a couple going to, like, he just bought her a new car, a new house, they're going on expensive vacations and doing all this stuff. Now she's looking at her regular man, even though they're in a better situation, she's thinking that couple over there is living better than them, but they don't know they're paying interest rate on them credit cards and maxed out, paying 24% interest rate, and they're hiding that car because that car about to get repossessed. The house, they're about 2 months behind on their mortgage. So because all you're seeing is the happy pictures on social media. So she's comparing her life to their life. And then she's looking at her man, who's probably a very fiscally responsible man, saying, well, how come we don't go on vacation to Bora Bora or whatever else? How come we're not doing this? And that can create a lot of rift for a lot of these modern women. Because again, they're watching TV, they're watching shows, and then they're looking at their man, thinking their man is inadequate based upon what they see as a standard for good, healthy relationship as based on TV, this false perception that's being provided on TV.
Right. You know, Drew Bean said, I played baseball in college. The black girl said I was lame. Now, 5 years later, I play pro AA baseball. I make $120,000 a year. Now they say I'm stuck up. You can't win, man. But Ingram, you know, a piece I don't think you ever answered my question. What did you see with the sorority girls and the fraternities in college? I ain't gonna let y'all off the hook, man. I ain't gonna let y'all off the hook.
They're the foundation of hot girl summers, like I said, man. And the reality is that, you know, they were free flowing through those dorms, man. And you know, it's a club of them, it's a pack of them, and they had their fun, man. You know, they had their fun. You know, that's really what it comes down to, it, man. You know, you see them after the games, you see them at night, you see them on the weekend at the parties. And look, hey, there's a lot of fun in those dorms. You know, like I said, I don't co-sign on any of these types of behaviors, but at the end of the day, they have been viciously and vigorously pounded out, to be honest with you. And that affliction carries on through life. You know.
Well, this is what happens, man. You know, this is what happens. People after they get the ring, because you know, they all lovey-dovey before they get the ring, right. But after they get the ring, man, you know, they take the mask off,
right,
and they start damn looking like your boy Smeagol on Lord of the Rings. Get that scheme affliction after they get the ring because they can't live up to the contract. They can't live up to it.
No.
And they start morphing into something outside of the norm because they can't live up to it. Guys, the link has been dropped. Right. The question is, if she's been imprinted, can she really settle down with you if she's been imprinted? Ingram, I know you got to go in a minute, but what did you get out of the show, man, real quick?
Well, you know, the show is really about educating men about not taking bad deals and understanding that you can't, let's be honest, you can't turn a 304 into a housewife. And you definitely can't turn a radical into a housewife. You just can't. And the reality is you're going to be in a situation where you're not going to fulfill her needs and her happiness because, look, you know, there's some serious pounding in these streets. And if she has had that, what you call it, Coach, the scheme of affliction.
Scheme of affliction, right.
Affliction from her past experiences, you're never going to measure up to.
You're not going to measure up to it, right. You would never measure up to it. She's going to actually, like you said, be frustrated with you because, resentment, right, because you wonder why she's angry and mad, and she tell you she said rue, and you thought she said move.
Right.
But she's really saying rue from them Omegas, that was pounding her brains back in college. And
she's used to being slammed over the couch and then, you know, hair pushed down the pillows and pounded vigorously. And you're coming in here with this marital missionary with some rose petals on the bed. It's like, man, like, get out of here. She's been wronged. You know, what are you going to do? Now are you going to, come with wine and rose petals? You know, she's been slid down some stairs and pounded. You know what I mean? You know, what the hell are you doing, man? You know, pounded in alleyways, trucks, on rooftops, behind the bleachers, and you want to come in here talking about, you're out of your league. Get yourself a virtuous woman from some foreign country that and enjoy the rest of your life. Don't even mess with these 304s out here.
Yeah, man, she's had her fun and has been imprinted and wants to settle with you. And like you said, man, I think it's very offensive They give your best years to unsavory men, but now all of a sudden you want a sucker. I call a sucker simp. You want a sucker simp to put a ring on your finger. But once you get into year 2 or year 3 of the marriage, you get bored. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. And many of them are peaceful life. They want to get a baby. They go through that baby rabies stage. Shout out to what's his name, Sandman. They go through that baby rabies stage, and they want to hurt, and hopefully you put a baby in them because they know that biological clock is ticking. Have you seen scenarios like that? Real quick.
Absolutely. I've seen scenarios where they're in a rush to get married and lock down a man because that biological clock, like I say, 35, anything over 35 is considered a geriatric pregnancy. Mm-hmm. And even 35 is pushing it. So, because nature don't care about your degree or your career, and time is the enemy of women, especially. We can still start a new family today if we wanted to, but for them, they can't do that. So, when they get desperate, and I'd say about they're closing in on that 30. That 30 is when they really start sweating, mm-hmm. and they want to lock. They don't want to be having those kids too old, but mm-hmm. And some of them already had like 2 or 3 deletions by that time anyhow.
Yeah, man.
So like they say, the streets and the markets is tough out here. You got to be wise in your decision making in terms of picking women out here, man, because you might be that cleanup man. You don't even know it. But what are you really getting? Like you said, in that deal, is you're getting ripped off and robbed because you're going to get in that situation, and after 2 or 3 years, it's going to go dry around there, and she's going to be chasing like a drug addict. She's going to be chasing that high. She's going to be going at them DMs. She's going to be looking at them shows, going for the attention and validation. She's going to be getting work husbands, that new phenomenon of work husbands, male friends. She's going to try and find some way to make up the difference with her thirst for whatever she's been missing from the imprints of her past.
Yeah, man. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, but that's what you see now, and that's why so many guys get in a miserable situation and end up losing their whole self, mm-hmm. because she's chasing, and you're out of your element because you've just got yourself a bad deal,
Right. No, yeah, I totally agree, man, and I think that's a strong correlation between women that had highly promiscuous passes and marital satisfaction. They've done studies on it. They said some are not statistically significant. But they say after you get over 6, man, or near 10 or whatever, after that, they said that it's not a lot, but they say that the marriage satisfaction starts declining. And you have women peaceful life. They have been married for years, and they act like they saw that relationship as a burden, and right. They're like, wow, I've been held down for 15 or 20 or 30 years, and then they're ready to get back out here and relive that hot girl summer, but. Well, they don't understand most of the guys that they get back with. Those guys not taking them serious.
Hell no. But that's
right.
That's what they see now. There was an article in, I know psychology today is very liberal-minded sometimes, but they had an article there about the increase in gray divorces. Mm-hmm. And what that is, again, we go back to the sin of envy. And I think it's directly correlated with social media and these toxic girlfriends and women around them and their family. Because nothing, that what's they call it, FOMO, fear of missing, FOMO, for fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out, right?
Yeah, that's the ultimate encouragement for women. When women fear get that FOMO, and they're being, enticed by other women. Hey, girl, we're going on this girl trip. I met this guy in Jamaica. He was 25. He blew my back out. Your husband, girl, you need to expand your options. Don't be with the same man all your life. And then they see in social media, mm-hmm. and then some guy in their DM is telling them, look, I want to smash. And they're like, wow, you know what? If I didn't have this man in my life, I could be going on that trip to Jamaica. I can be getting pounded out. Then they get rid of that man thinking that they're going to be hanging out with their girlfriends. They're going to be doing hot girl summer for the rest of their life. And when they come out here, they realize that it's just a smash kingdom out here, and dudes they're getting treated like that pinata, whatever they call that thing.
Yeah, pinata, right?
They're getting beat up like a pinata and tossed over the left shoulder to the next man in line. They're like, whoa, right. I want my husband back.
Yeah, yeah. The man, yeah. Once we break up and you go out here and start getting it in, I don't want you back. I don't even look at you.
But they get deceived and set up. Now you're out here in your 40s and 50s. You ain't got no man. Everybody's smash and move, and everybody's pounding you out. The dudes that are out here, like my age, are looking for women that are 15, 20 years younger than them. Because if like, you know, my age, I've had to drop my age range. Even as a guy that's 47 years old, about to be 48. You know, I'm in the gym, I'm working out, I'm taking care of myself. I keep myself squared away. So what am I going to be doing with another 47-year-old woman? You know, and like, you know, time is rough. Time is merciless.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
I have to go like a decade plus back to find the same quality that matches my value as a man. And so if a 47-year-old woman come look at me and, you know, she has no neck and you know, the turkey neck and the crow's feet are popping, and you know, I'm not, you know, I can't get with that. And they get mad at you too, because like, yo, you know, I mean, I'm a 47-year-old guy that works out almost every day. You know, I can't I can't be rocking no out of shape, crusty looking broad, you know, with you know, that's wearing the test of time. You know, how I can't consume that. But I respect them, and I'm not disrespectful to them. I'm just saying, like, it's just the way the culture is. Now you're getting back out. Women are not supposed to be out here in the market at this age,
right?
And they're not supposed to be out here in the market at, you know, in their 30s and stuff, because time is your enemy for women. That's why it's like women need to get married when they're younger. When you listen to these old broads and these crazy ass stupid dating coaches out here selling them the dream that you can keep running on this carousel forever. There's an expiration date, and that is cruel. That'll smack the shit out of you. You come out here because you don't want to be getting pounded out in your 40s and 50s. And not only that, some of these women can't even take the pounding. They've been having fibroids and shit, getting pounded out in pain. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be out here in these streets that long.
Dude, you are.
You know, you try to get pounded out with fibroids and stuff. You know, going, you know, go see. Like, yo, you're supposed to be in like a marriage in a home. What are you doing out at 2:00 in the morning?
Right. My man Dale the Elder said, my wife is still in her 20s. We're gonna talk about young women real quick and Imprint real quick. Now I'm gonna let you go. Shout out to my man Cody Marsh. He said once they get 35 to 40. Them women want that baby belly. Yeah, they do, man. They want this called baby rabies. What's your take on men dealing with younger women that are mature? You know, if you're an older man, I know at your age, you probably get your younger woman if you get married again. But at your age, how many years younger would you go, Peaceful Life?
I'm 47, about 48 right now. My range is about 30 to 35. I don't want nothing older than that. Older than 35, now she's got to be an some type of immaculate condition, because and even 30 to 35, you know, it ain't nothing personal. It's just, look, hey man, there's a lot of pounding out here, and you know, I'm saying that, and like I say, father time is brutal, man, because I'm looking at my 30-year high school reunion class. I'm like, whoa, oh my God, I'm talking about some serious, some biscuit and gravy eaters. Like, I'm like, damn, I'm talking about no necks. It's rough out here in these streets. It's rough out here. You know, if you haven't really taken care of your diet, you know what I mean? You've been eating, you know, chicken and waffle for breakfast at the Waffle House and shit. Yeah, you got high sugar problem and all that shit. You know, like, you can't. You know, that's what you getting in relationships now. Like, you know, I got to drop my age range, because you know the women that are my age, you know, many of them are not massaging the pupils like that. They're hard on the eyes, right? And you got to be like, you know, can I consume this?
Right.
And you know, am I going to say to myself, as we get older, our value increases men? Am I going to be walking in the house and I'm looking over there and, you know, got varicose veins and stretch marks all over the place, and turkey necks looking at me, crow's feet looking back at me? I'm like, what the hell? Hell no, I can't do this shit. Fuck. I can't get that. I'm sorry. I apologize, ladies. I can't get. You got to kick me off the show, man.
You're supposed to take it for the team, though.
No, man, I'm not taking that for the team, man. What is the
man.
point of like you working hard all your life, and you coming home and there's some crusty broad laying on your couch? Like, like this is the substance of your hard work. You know what I mean? Like, you look at like you're a 40-year-old guy. Like, it ain't like the woman's been married to you for 25 years and she had your kids and all that.
Right.
You know, but you coming home, got fupa and underbellies and okay. You're like, what the hell? Like, I'm not dealing with that shit, man. I'm not dealing with that shit. I'm not dealing with that. I'm sorry, man.
But they said, man, you were King Pounder, though, man. They said you.
I didn't run the mileage up on them broads. Why am I paying the price?
The dog said you.
I'm saying I'm not trying to see that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to walk in the house. Like that's a demoralizing shit to a man. Like a woman that doesn't take care of herself. You walk in the house and like after a hard day's work and you look over there and your broad is fat and out of shape and crusty looking and wearing some long t-shirt down to her knees or some shit, watching Housewives of Atlanta. You just want to just walk right back out the door and go to the bar. I'm not coming back to this house no more. You see some dudes, like you go sometime to the park, dudes still hanging out at the park at 7-8 o'clock at night. He don't even want to go home. He don't want to see that. So I mean, like, that's what you're really dealing with at this age. So you have to drop your age as a man. Unfortunately,
right.
You got to drop. If you're a guy like me, you're gonna have to go 15 years younger. And I know that hurts a lot of women's feelings, that offend them. But hey, look, you had the right of first refusal in your early 20s. You could have snatched up a man. That's why I say women get married before 25.
Right.
This is the highest value. Get a hold of a man. Stay married to a good man. You don't want to come out here on this Serengeti. This is savagery. And no disrespect. I'm not a hard guy, but guys are merciless. They're not trying. They're going for women that are. If the guy is squared away and got his life together, he's my age. He's not dating women. A 47-year-old guy like me, you're not going to date 47-year-old women.
No, not at all.
We're going to date women between, I would say, high 20s to mid 30s.
Right.
And it's going to offend a lot of women, but it's true.
But listen, they don't want to date a broke man. It's called It's called relationship symmetry. It's just how we're wired. They'll say, "Oh, well, old men can't keep up," or they just want you for your money, but you want it for.
You froze a little bit, Kosher.
I'm a hard drive. If I was a single man in the game, I probably want to deal with a younger woman. I'm not saying I wouldn't give a woman my age a chance, but she would have to be exceptional in looks, quality, and value. But my biology is saying I want a younger woman, because you can't beat hips and perky breasts, man.
Yeah, man.
You can't beat it, man.
I run an extra mile on the treadmill every day for the younger women. I'll be honest with you. At the end of the day, if you're dealing with a woman my age that looks good, you're in the 1% category. Right. Like you're in a 1-2% category, I would say, because time is brutal, and especially in our community that has a high obesity rate. We're talking, but the problem is this: they're not even trying, though. They're not even competitive. Right. You go to other countries. You told me about Brazil and other places. Like you could have a woman in her 40s that look like you saw the one young lady that Guapo has on this channel, Renata,
right? Mm-hmm.
She had like 3 kids. That broad is fine,
right?
You know what I mean? Like that's what you see in other countries, because you know what? They're walking around a lot. They're catching buses. They're walking up them hills in Brazil. That's a workout within itself. Walking up them hills in Brazil and whatever else.
Right.
So their women are coming to the table and they're eating better food, non-GMO food. Mm-hmm. These broads are here. They think, getting in shape is going to get a BBL and going to get some fat sucked out of them somewhere in South America, having like liposuction. That's their idea of working out. I ain't going to the gym. I'm going to give me this BBL. They're black men. They all like that booty. They don't care. BBL be all, and they get the cheap BBL too. the one that can kill you, butt be deflating, the shit. They don't even have the proper procedures because they got to make it back to work in a week. So they try to get back to work and they sit in them cubicles all day. They don't like exercise. They try to surgically enhance it.
Right.
That's their idea of putting in the work. Going to Mexico, getting a cheap BBL, getting some whatever fat sucked out of them. And they're not trying to go to the gym. They're not trying to compete at our age. So this is what you got on the market now. So men are forced to go younger. You see guys in the Philippines go younger. You see guys in Brazil and Colombia go younger. And even if they're just going to get a better value based upon the work they've put in life and to build themselves in the men they are. And what I'm saying, like that's what these women think is competitive. So they're not even coming to the table with any effort. I mean, they're insulted. If you tell them that they got to go to the gym and they got to work out and look good and be competitive out here in this dating market, they get offended. They get, what do you your mama and them, you have this idea that women are supposed to be like this and like that. That's some made up stuff. What's wrong with you? Who hurt you? Your mama's probably big too, huh? Well, they'll try. They come at you all kinds of because they want to shame you when accepting these unreasonable low standards, which is set in the Black community for women to be out of shape, women to not, like I said, they don't want to work out, and that's really what it comes down to. And like I said, Father Time, unforgivable,
Yeah, man, Father Time is very much unforgivable. Very much unforgivable, man. And many don't understand it, man. But I'm so proud of the men that are single, that can travel, that can live their lives on their own terms. I love it, man. I love the fact that they're single, can live their life on their own terms. They're not distressed. They're just living their lives, man. And, you told me the story about a friend of yours. We're not going to say his name. Perhaps his wife probably was imprinted. Real quick, without giving too much detail, share the story about your friend that eventually succumbed to death because he found out that his wife was, having an extramarital affair. And what's the likelihood that she was imprinted, in your opinion?
I think the likelihood was high. And he was a guy who was married for 33 years. Wife was doing that work husband thing where she was banging some guy at her job. And this is a guy who invested everything in his family and his marriage. And, like I said, after he got out of that marriage, that's why I got the term, nobody takes care of you like you. Because, he reiterated that even before he passed away. And like I said, and this is what the mentality I try to get with the men is that you got to take care of yourself, man. You can't allow anybody to set a standard for your life with everything, especially. I keep going back to the Black community, man, because they always try to feed men this trash that you gotta, be with low women that are not willing to put in the work, and you must lower your standards just to have a woman. And that's why I'm so happy that the Passport Brothers are finally, opening up the eyes of many Black men and freeing them. But he lived his whole life for his family, and then he got stung after like 33 years. But that thing with the work situation with a lot of these women, they get encouraged, and some of them do it on their own, infidelity, whatever. Men do it too. Don't get me wrong, but
right.
A lot of guys, are very loyal in that situation, and they get stung. But that pretty much wore down his life, and I think he never could overcome that.
Yeah. Cody Marshall said that Kevin Samuels said dating now is a blood sport. Rest in peace. Thank you, Cody Marshall. What's your take on that? Is the blood sport peaceful?
It's the Serengeti out here, man, and men's got to be really careful. I think what happens, the worst thing for you to ever be in your life right now is the cleanup man. I think that's a lifestyle of torture and abuse, because what happens with men is they get caught on this treadmill of happiness. And you will never please her, and you'll never satisfy her thirst for that guy that imprinted her. And the first one, you'll never satisfy her thirst for your misery.
Right.
Once she gets that, because that thirst that she has for that guy turns into resentment of you. Because think about it like think about it like them. Imagine if you had to sleep with a woman every night, like that was completely hideous to you, and you had to consume every night. You're going to build up some resentment. So women are the same way. If they don't really, unless she's an absolute mercenary, that is a woman that has no soul, and she's a pure gold digging parasite, and she only cares about money. Those women don't have no soul because they can sleep with whoever they want to sleep with.
Right.
The other ones, if they've been imprinted, they build that serious resentment, and they end up just mistreating the guy, like you mistreating the guy horribly, because that's not who she wants to be with. So she turns out hating the guy.
She hates the guy, right? Yeah, she hates him. She's repulsed by him, but she need to have those resources, man. So she'll suffer it out. But anyway, man, it's been a great one, man. We're gonna have a great show on tomorrow, Ingram, called "He Wants a Soldier." Where's she at? Because Kelly Rowland made that song called "I Want a Soldier." Where he at? But men need a woman that's a soldier if she's going to be fitted and suitable for marriage. She has to be a soldier. She has to be wife rich. She has the mind of a soldier. If she don't have the mind of a soldier, she's not ready to be a wife, because being a wife is about having mental discipline, but also mental dexterity. But anyway, man, it's been an honor, man. We're going to have a good one on tomorrow, man. I might bring you back tomorrow if you got time. I know football season, so you're going to be...
Oh, yeah. That's all right.
And what's your team, man? What's your team, the football team?
I'm a Cowboys fan, but,
College.
Well, college. But football and college? I'm not a real big college football fan, but, obviously, football is very much dominated by, who the SEC teams now. Mm-hmm. So in the Big Ten. So at the end of the day, we pretty much can predict who's going to be the top 10 teams every year. So
right.
When you stack the talent like that, it's just hard football. It's just tough, man.
Right. Well, we're going to sign off, man, and I appreciate it, brother. Thank you, brother. Much love and blessing. About to sign off.
Absolutely, man. Hey, and for brothers, make sure you drop by, man, and subscribe. You can be with some content.
Sir. Yeah, go check out my man Peaceful Life, his channel. Tim dropped the link. Go check out my man Peaceful Life. I think he dropped it a minute ago, but go check him out, man. It's great. It's been a great show, and they call me long-winded, man. But
no, man. I think what it is, man, is that we just fellowship as brothers with the community, and that's one of the reasons why I restarted my channel, is to create that space and create a place where men can come in. Because I run a man's channel. Right. Like I said, we box out the simps. You don't get no offensive rebounds and second chance putbacks on my channel. Mm-hmm. And we're not create an environment where you're not gonna be arguing with the women. I'm not allow the women to come in that space, shaming men and all that stuff. Top Gun be enforcing it over there. If they came over there, just kick them right out of there. Because they don't really have anything good for men. Mm-hmm. And there's no benefit in talking to them. You can't talk to these save the community simps, these toxic women, because the only thing they have is to knock you off your game, get you back on the plantation. And I call these new men that come in this space, I call them snowballs from Django. These snowballs, you can't even entertain these snowballs because their intentions come with malice from the door. So there's nothing you can do to say to them. They're coming in there. They've been sent. They're mama's boys, simps, or community simps, caping for women, and you can't even tolerate them because you're not getting anywhere. But anyhow, let me go off because we be hanging out all night, man.
Yeah, we be all night, man. I got to get ready to get up in the morning, cut this grass, man. But anyway, guys, been a great show. Ingram Mom is dropping down, man. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you, sir. All right, be good, man. But guys, it's been a good one, and the question remains: can she be wife ready if she's been impacted and or imprinted? And I think the question is, she cannot be wife ready if she's been imprinted. It's going to take a lot of therapy to unpack or more or less reduce the imprint of a woman that had a lot of fun in college. And as I said earlier, I'm not here to castigate any fraternity or sorority. I'm here to tell a story about how many times many get imprinted through college and many times it's through sororities. and sometimes fraternities. And so, you know, she's been imprinted. But is she wife ready? And I think the answer is that she's not. You'll just be a commodity to more or less be subjugated to and more or less be frustrated in the long run. But anyway, guys, it's been a great show. Join us on tomorrow. I'm going to have a special guest. And the question is, she needs to be a soldier if she's going to be a wife. I really appreciate everything you guys have done. Guys, go hit the like button, share this content, share this stream. I appreciate everybody, everything that everybody's doing. And guys, in modern dating and relationships, true to Bruce Lee said, you must be like water.
That's ISO. Rack it up, I gotta build up the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and
4 in the morning, you got me up, all cause you need to talk. To 4 in the evening, wanna break up, say that you've had enough. I'm tired of talking, again and again, argue about everything. You are my darling, this kiss and make up, I know you wanna touch. You call me every night, call me every day, I just wanna get you alone now. Trust me when I say we gon' be
money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Yeah. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my ass. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my money line. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my money line. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my money line. Watch out for those who surround you, need no funny kind. You can't see what's on my brain, I live inside my mind. Out of space and out of sight, you need me in my line. Need no face, don't need no phonies, no. Need no snakes, no only homies, down for show. On go. Get a book and get the front and we load up and roll. I got kids, yeah, I got staff, I make a little need more. I sell records, you sell packs, not on my level, no. I'm a pop star, I'm a rock star, I'm a winner. Think I'm not hard, you smoke rock, hard waste, man, why you dumb? I'm with airline, we on airlines like we on the run. I'm with take girls run up on me, they done. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Yeah. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my ass. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my money line. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my money line. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my. I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, have me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, you matter what. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, you matter what. Add it up, told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what, told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me, it's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck, country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month, I don't rap much. I just take the money and go stack up. Only buying car till you get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low.
we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh, you matter what. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh, you matter what. Add it up, told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what, told ya I'ma do me, why you hating on me, it's not adding up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what, told ya I'ma do me, why you hating on me, it's not adding up.
Swipe, 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 swipe.
Swipe, 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 swipe. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. Swerving, making plays, Ferrari red. Never out my zone, touchdown in my hands. Only fam around me, I can't have no friends. Had to cut you off, you left me out for dead. Ever since I was a teen, had prices on my head. Had to cut you off, you left me out for dead. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. Ballpoint on the beat, ballpoint make them dance. We came up from nothing, now we're making plans. Just picked up some bands, Tell her ask it questions when I come and grind. On the run like a runaway. Only way is the money way. New chain, no jewelry. No gays, don't fool me. 21, been a boss. Play the game, pay the cost. Heard you roll a TikTok. Need to get another watch. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. Tell them run it up. I wake up. I wake up, flex, thumb down, that check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Night crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down, that check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy. Put in my hours, send me invoice and they pay me. I need 6 rings like MJ and Tom Brady. I wake up, flex, thumb down, that check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down, that check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. Y'all gon' make me take that trip way out to Europe. I call up Nigeria, come through in a hurry. Those London boys don't come to play, you should get worried. One false move, find yourself, they getting buried. Dance with the devil, used to love playing those games. Made some bad decisions that brought my mama pain. I made a promise to her, swore that I would change. I'm on the come up, bet I live up to my name. I wake up, flex, thumb down, that check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex. Thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. Like I work in finance. God bless, no, this not by chance. Don't dab me, you're not my man. Don't at me, you're not my man. Mama said don't buy it if you cannot buy it twice. I cop by the tools and I don't pump fake with the price. Always on the grind, I put in work with all my might. I know that he got me, not by sight. I skirt like Vanish, I slide I land this. Fit 4 days, that's for sure though. Grinding from the grip, no shame, take a photo. Time to take a trip, we head north to the border. Say you filling up, I'm my favorite type of hoarder. I got kids.